Hello, everyone, and welcome to the RPGeeks, where we do Dungeons and Dragons and science set in the sci-fi world of Braxigan 2. So we are 4 science communicators who love to play D&D, and then afterwards we talk about the science behind the sci-fi concepts that have come up in the game. So we're going to start off introducing everyone. Hi there, my name's Sharmini. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a science filmmaker. And in the game, I will be playing Tenebris, who's a sort of drow sorcerer, but all reskinned to strange, futuristic sci-fi thingamies. Thingamies. That's the technical term. Thingamies. Find Simon.
Hello, I'm Simon. I play Uriel, who is in 5e terms a monk who uses he, they pronouns. I use he, him. And in universe, Uriel is a cybernetically enhanced human on the path to leaving his corruptible, disgusting, weak, mortal flesh behind. Yeah. And I do science videos for a living. And that leaves, in terms of the players, the one and only Emily Bates.
Hello, I'm Emily Bates. You must always use my full name. No one ever calls me Emily. And I too am a science video producer. And in this, I use she, her pronouns, and I play Infinite Sky 6000, who uses she, they pronouns and is a terraforming droid, and she's beautiful and I love her. And now the other person who is beautiful and I love is our wonderful DM, Ali Jennings.
It's me, Ali Jennings. I'm the DM, and I use he, him pronouns. And
whenever you enter a room from now, can you please go, yeah, it's me, Ali Jennings.
He's beautiful, I love him. So, someone else would have to shout that from the side, like off camera. He's beautiful, I love him. Thank you, Ali Jennings. Anyway, roll the thing, roll it, do it.
Right, roll the intro. We'll see you on the other side.
So, where were we? Our heroes had heroically stolen a transport shuttle with the intention of flying to the great city of Gunka to contact the smugglers, now known as the Red Runners. Unfortunately, the ship's crew diverted the shuttle.
You didn't say the Red Runners.
You didn't say they were smugglers.
We're anti-smuggling. We had this whole anti-smuggling thing, and we just trusted that person when they said, I'm a Red Runner, we're great, and now you're like, they're smugglers.
Ali, have you just given away a massive plot point?
I thought it was pretty clear at the time.
Anyway, we're not smart people, Ali.
No.
Can't assume we get these things.
Was it high int, low wisdom?
Wait, so are we following the people that we were trying to stop now?
No, different smugglers, right? Right?
You're following a set of people called the Red Runners who are interested in an artifact that you carry. And they also wish their presence to not be known by the mining colony that you've just come from. Draw your own conclusions. Maybe that was a typo. I don't know. It's so far in the past now. But before your party had a chance to change the course of the shuttle towards Gunka, instead of towards the town of Switchback Run, you were intercepted by another vessel, which now appears to be boarding your shuttle. So, you heroically hid beneath the wire metal floor panels of the engine room, which is where we find you now, as the crew above you, who'd hidden themselves away out of fear of you and your heroic actions,
didn't even search the ship and know that how many crew were here.
Well, to be fair, all we know that there were 3 pairs of legs. It may be that one of the crew members has 2 pairs of legs.
We met 2.
2 of the crew members.
Maybe they were hiding.
Yeah. Anyway, it's fine. We're hidden now. It's all good. They think we jumped out the window.
We're being deadly silent, by the way.
Before we go on...
Oh, God. Roll initiative. Right, let's get this over done.
No, Simon!
I need one of you guys to roll me a persuasion check, because in the build-up to you hiding away, you tried very hard to convince the rest of the crew that what you'd in fact done is jumped out of the ship.
I thought we'd done quite well at that.
I'm not doing it.
It would probably be best if I didn't do it.
Yes, me and Simon should not.
I'm doing it, obviously. I think it goes without saying.
Well, I mean, Tenebris did talk to the people through the door. So...
Yeah, I definitely bigged up the jumping thing.
Yeah,
I wasn't the main one saying it, but I was.
Uriel really helped as well. So
yeah,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Because he opened the door and
that was great.
Yeah,
you did, and they would have heard the rushing of the air and the roar.
It's still
of
open.
The atmosphere
No one
outside.
closed it.
Yeah, and they would now, as they are opening the door to leave the engine room above you, they would see the light from the open door spilling into the dark and metal interior of the shuttle. So go ahead and roll with advantage.
Okay,
let's
I'm
go,
rolling
Carissa.
Deception. Oh, bad first roll. Not great second roll, but might be enough. 14. Two very bad rolls. That was a 5 and an 8 on the dice. That's what that was.
All right.
I mean, I couldn't probably have done much better.
That's awkward.
Above you, you hear the sound of the 3 crew members walking out through the main door of the engine room into the main hangar section of the shuttle. As they go, they close the door behind them.
Incoming message.
Now, can everybody roll a perception check for me? Let's see if you can hear what's happening outside.
Oh, I've got such good perception. I rolled a 2. That's a total of 8.
Got a 16.
Are we just going to all roll really badly again today?
The rest
Yeah,
of
it's
the
one of those
session.
days, huh?
It's one of those days.
Hang on, perception. That's a 7.
Tenebris, you hear the sound of talking. You hear one voice that you've heard before that you recognize, the twang of the captain, Captain Espinosa. And you can just about make out what she's saying. The other voices are indistinct, but you do hear one difference, a guttural sound that phases in and out of your range of hearing. Sounds a little bit like...
God, they're Sarkar.
But you can't make out what they're saying. Do hear Captain Espinosa. And what you hear is... Oh! Thank you for coming. Is you... Wait. What is this? You're... Who? You're not the brothers, no? You're not... And then there's a pause. You hear this low guttural noise. And then... We do not know where they are. We do not... we are the crew. We are here. We are your side. We don't know where they are. They say they jump out. I don't know. Maybe it's true. Maybe no. But you must believe me. You must. And then a pause. And then.
Oh no.
No, please, no. Why are you doing?
Oh no. Oh no.
And then a silence. You hear the slow dang, dang, dang of footsteps moving through the shuttle. Now they seem to be moving away from you.
So, just so that I'm clear on geography here, we went through the little hidden crawl space, which as far as we know is a secret, and we went into a space that was next to the engines, and it was exposed to
underneath
the
the engines. Right?
Imagine the ship as a teardrop shape. The front is the flat end of the teardrop.
Okay.
The back is the sort of curved towards a spike. And that's where the main engines are, the thrust engines.
Sure.
That back bit is walled off from the main shuttle compartment. And that's the engine room. You are currently under the floor of that room.
Got you. Okay.
Okay. And it's exposed to the atmosphere. We're not inside anymore? Or are
I
we?
thought we were.
You are inside. It's simply that you are pressed up against the metal which is touching. So you're touching the metal which is in contact with the outside atmosphere. So it's very, very cold. But whilst your skin, which is touching this metal, is almost freezing, the heat of the engines is burning the side of your face from the other side.
I'm just gonna mime to the others in case they didn't hear. I guess I don't know they didn't hear, but I'm just gonna sort of point, make a throat slitting sound, and then just shush, motion.
Slowly, the footsteps recede away from you.
Should we go up?
You wait. A minute goes past. Another minute. Everybody roll another perception
Oh,
check.
that's why you wanted to go up. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realise.
Yeah,
But also,
good.
no, we're going to die.
We've all still got good berries. What was that? Sorry, Ali?
Roll another perception check.
Natural 1.
16.
8.
Typical.
Tenebris, you now find that the pressure of the situation is starting to get to you. You can start to hear a slight hissing in your ears, and it's difficult to focus. Uriel, you concentrate. You reach out with your senses, artificially heightened. Above you, this metal gangway, which stretches the whole length of the ship. You press yourself against it, trying to hear the vibrations travelling through it, and you hear again footsteps. Ka-dunk, ka-dunk, ka-dunk. They're coming closer. They're getting louder and louder.
Autopilot deactivated.
Have we looked around this space yet? Has anybody actually looked around to see if there's anything interesting?
No, I'm very busy staying very still and not breathing.
Okay, cool. Not moving. Can I look around?
Yeah, don't, just only move your eyeballs.
Move my eyeballs.
Move them quietly.
And one vertebra.
Yeah.
Roll a perception check.
Oof.
9.
You're down in the bilges, essentially. The metal around you is corroded with the chemical output of the kind of fuel that they're using in this ship. There's greens and sort of strange turquoises seeping out across it. You can feel the cool of the metal. You can see the massive rivets in the side of the hull. Underneath here, looks as like it could have been a storage zone, but at the moment is not being used for anything. There are just patches of oil, there's bits of old metal framework that's fallen through, and even some patches of what look like fuel that's evaporating off the surface of the inside of this hull. Above you is this metal grating where you can see that there are a couple of entry points. If you wished to leave, instead of having to break your way through, you could get out. And then above you, in the room above, the engine room, you see two huge turbines, both facing out of the back of the ship. There's a control panel on the other side of the room, away from you. The door is in front of you, back to the main part of the ship. And you can see a massive tank which covers a good third of the room. And from the look of it, well, it has warning signs on it that make it look like it might be highly pressurized. that's about what you get from that.
All systems
At this
active.
point, you all see a figure come through the door to the engine room.
Above us.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
They're looking to the left and right. They sniff the air. They're humanoid, but they don't look like any human you've ever seen. They have greenish grey skin, which, from the look of it, appears hard, almost like an elephant's skin, like a pachyderm. That kind of hard roughness to it, but it's not in folds like a actual pachyderm that we would understand. It's taut and wrapped around the body, and yet the body isn't thick. It's lithe. The face is what you might imagine a human face to be, but the eyes are deeply, deeply sunken in, and the head is completely round, almost like a bowling ball. From the ears, you see that they're slits dug into the side of the skull. Ooh. And the mouth has just become a little hole right in the middle. Sorry, not in the middle of the face. Is a hole where you would imagine the human mouth to be. There is no nose. This humanoid creature is wearing human clothes. They have a leather bomber jacket on. They've got tight leather trousers as well, and they're wearing airfaring boots. So, Uriel, you will recognize these as the kind of boots that are commonly worn by spacefaring people and aeronauts. On their wrist, you see some form of device. You can't be sure what it is. It's a bulky metal contraption. And that's about all you make out now. Ooh. Figure steps into the room. Ka-tang. Ka-tang. Looks around. Pauses. Looks up over the top of the tanks to try and make out anything. And you see what almost could be a frown twist the features into a strange approximation of human emotion. Then the creature straightens, turns on its heel, and walks back out again.
Are we gonna whisper now? RP.
Do we have to do it like this? Into our microphones.
Welcome to the ASMRPG cast.
Should maybe just not say anything at all until just forever, just for the rest of the episode. Yes, I think that's great content. I think that's really good idea. If we just say very still and just let Ali keep describing things. I agree also that this is what I would like to do. We could even have a rest of the long variety while we're down here, maybe.
I'm gonna Tenebris, Infinity, you just hear Tenebris's voice in your head going,
I could do this, but I think it might freak Uriel out, so I'm not going to. Tenebris.
I try and talk back from inside my head. Can you hear me?
yeah,
Oh, you can!
yeah.
Oh! Tenebris?
Why are your
Why-
facial expressions changing?
Tenebris, why? Are you in my... Oh, sorry, Uriel, I'm just... No, I think he'd like it.
If
Try.
this is about the relationship chat that we had, look,
Relationship chat.
we can explain later. What?
Oh, are you two in a...
No, we're not. What?
Oh, okay.
What's going on?
Oh, we're being very quiet. Tenebris is talking in my head.
I can hear her without her hearing her.
I have to move my hands in order to do it, and that might be noisy, so I think, again, silence.
Stop.
Okay, just silence.
Okay, let's have a sleep.
Asleep.
You're. Well, I just.
This is like fucking like Predator, and Arnold was like, "Well, yeah, it's up there. I guess I may as well just have a nap now."
I want my level 3 stuff.
Oh, that's why you.
Sure, I get a pretty nifty upgrade. To be fair, I'm not sure if now is the time.
Okay, fine. Can I, Ali? I would know. So can you tell me if I try and contact the satellites, will I make noise?
No, you won't.
Great. Can I try and find any TerraCorp satellites nearby and tap into them?
What exactly are you trying to do? What are you asking for?
It's just something to do while I'm here, and it would be good to know if they're around, and maybe I can try and get some kind of help to us.
You reach out again through the radio waves, pushing up into the stratosphere, trying to orientate yourself, find this network of TerraCorp satellites that you know must exist. As you push out, you feel different, it's almost like consciousness of these floating satellite artificially intelligent systems above the planet's surface. You reach out to them and you try to make contact, you try to speak, but it feels like the language that you're using isn't right. They turn to you, they try and talk back, but you just hear a garbled and you can't understand.
Okay.
At this point, you all hear from the main chamber, "Yeah, you! Come out! Come out!" And then, dung, doom, doom. Slow beat on the metal grill.
Of the where we are.
No, this is out in the main area of the shuttle.
Okay, fine.
Tenebris, your friends, could they do anything in this kind of situation? Like, I don't know.
It's the cloud.
Could they make him jump out of the plane? Maybe. Because at the moment, I think we're pretty limited in what we can do. But I don't know if your friends can do anything.
They don't by themselves. They can't do things. We can do things together, like as one. So they can do things like put people to sleep, like you saw when I put someone to sleep. That was them.
That was very good.
Or like, making them maybe walk in a direction, or, even like persuading someone to be friendly. But sometimes, often, I have to be able to see the person, and also I cannot say, "Hey, why not jump out the plane?"
Okay, but what if we wait until they're coming above us, and then send them to sleep, and then we pick them up and throw them out of the plane?
Is there not more than one of them?
I've only seen one. Unless...
I have only heard one, but it was not clear.
Also, the captain, didn't she say that he wasn't from the brothers?
You are not the brothers, so maybe you are a single person. Not in relationship,
Well, but you can be a plural and a singular.
I think if they find us, then we will have to do something. But there is always the chance that they will not find us and they will think we jumped. And
as you're having this conversation, you hear through the ship's intercom, approaching Shady Creek. Sorry.
Cheeky bit of Critical Role coming in there, Ali Jennings.
Could have been a little bit critical.
I think you'll find.
What?
Shady Creek is in.
Oh, is it? What was it?
Approaching.
I don't know where we're going.
Switchback run.
Oh.
Switchback.
Oh, yeah.
Approaching. Switchback run. All passengers prepare for landing.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's
I guess we prepare for landing. Ali, would I know if we're safe where we are if we're landing?
Jerk was there last time we landed.
I was going to
Roll an
ask.
intelligence check.
I was going to ask the same thing actually.
You say
considering-
intelligence.
Yeah.
Just straight.
If Uriel is sort of, considering their background in terms of ship construction, is that reasonable to say that I could do the same thing?
Was it straight intelligence or just?
Yeah, you can give Infinity advantage, or you could roll yourself.
You do it again, Infinity.
Yeah, that's better. 22.
Feeling.
You know that
Just smart.
from the way that the shuttle took off and the way that you felt it land. Well, you didn't feel it land the first time you arrived, but the way that it was described to you, you know that this is a vertical takeoff landing aircraft. So you're not going to suffer any problem if this lands wherever you're sat. However, you now hear, as you've been having that conversation, it's maybe 2 or 3 minutes have passed since you heard that announcement. You now hear, course change, repeat, manual override, initiated,
No.
course change, collision course,
Yay, what?
set,
No.
collision course,
Okay.
set.
All right. Okay.
We know
What's
they
that?
must be up in the cockpit.
Right. We have to go. We have to go now. Okay. Before we go, Alex, I can feel where this is going. Can we just go over what we have in terms of because I know last time you said we would have our level 3 hit points, but
Yeah, you have all got your level 3 hit points.
yeah.
The only level 3 thing that you don't have access to are your spells, and I think in this case we'll say, Uriel, you don't have access to your new monk path.
So I also my spell slots as well are all gone. If I used them all
Yeah.
up when I was level 2, so my new ones don't activate yet. Oh, good.
What I meant by saying that was that you've done enough. You've earned it. You've got enough experience
Yeah. I
to
just wanted
unlock
to-
those things in yourself, but you need
Yeah,
to
that's
recharge to be
fine.
able to use them.
Okay, fine. Cantrips it is. Let's go.
If
Who's ready
fighting is
for
necessary.
Shillelagh? That's all I've got. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna have to. We need to.
Yeah, we don't know how long
yeah.
it is. We don't know
Let's
if
go.
they're there. We don't know if they've
We know
left.
they're up in the cockpit. Why don't they've clearly put their ship on top of this ship and then jumped down? What if we
Oh.
go and hide on their ship?
Oh. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
now
Let's
this
Let's
I
go.
like. Okay.
Let's
Hydrants work pretty well for
get the
us.
fuck up there.
Let's see if we can find it. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's go.
into it.
Out. Let's try and open the door quietly with
Yeah.
stealth, quietly, everyone.
They may have already come down from the cockpit, so let's keep an eye.
All right, let's roll another stealth check. So just the last one you rolled has got you this far. You all rolled excellent stealth the first time, so let's see if you can do it again.
Yeah, I can. Non-nat 20.
19. Charming.
13.
That is almost exactly what you rolled before. You all feel pretty sure that you're cloaking your movement. You're trying to blend in with the sounds of the ship. You creep through the hole that you were initially made, out into the main bay of the shuttle. Now you're underneath the metal floorway, the crisscross metal path. You look above you, the harsh, bright white light from the open gangway throws everything into very sharp relief. You see the shadows, these hulking shapes of different pieces of machinery stacked up, tied in alongside the walls of the shuttle. You hear this, the roar of the air out of the back of the craft, echoing around this chamber, and the cold as well creeping in. Everybody roll a perception check.
Come on.
Let's perceive, baby. That's 17.
10.
18.
Uriel and Tenebris,
Incoming message.
you scan the entire chamber, and you're doing this fast because you know whatever's happened up there, anything could change. This character could come back. You look up. Uriel, you remember as you were running away from operating the door the first time, sparks, a shower, almost a rain of these incandescent sparks fell on your head. You look up to where it was that they came from, and you see a hole, a circular hole with ragged edges cut into the top of the shuttle. Inside, with those rolls, you can see faint pinpricks of lights. Could be control panel lighting. On either side of you, the shuttle is laid out like this. There's a central gangway, which is what you are currently underneath. On either side of you are metallic metallic walls, so made out of basically chicken wire, but reinforced chicken wire, which are enclosing the machines. They go straight from floor to ceiling. The hole in the top of the ceiling is maybe 3 meters from the edge of one of these walls. And there do not appear to be any gangways or any other raised structure which could, from which you could access the hole.
That would be a really good time to have a key point there, Uriel.
Or a wild shape.
Or any of... Well, I do have wild shapes, but nothing that can fly, so...
Climb?
Have you not seen a bat?
Oh, climb.
Jaguars are very good climbers.
I can climb.
Yeah, but are they going to
My
fit through that gap?
panther.
They can't carry anything, but still. At least they could get up there.
That's... So it looks like we could potentially climb our way up.
How high off the ground is it?
So the roof of this shuttle bay is 10 meters high.
God.
It's so there's all this big mining. Is it mining equipment? There's all this big equipment on either side, or even the wire itself. Is the wire itself big enough that we could use it as handholds? The chicken wire that's holding the equipment back.
Absolutely, it's much like the metal surface on which you're currently underneath.
And then the tricky thing is that once we get to the top, there is a 3-meter gap between where the wire hits the ceiling and where the actual hole is. And I have no idea how we would get across that gap and into that hole. That's quite a long way. There's nothing else that's even remotely near it. The other option is wait till they go back into their craft and take off, and then I don't know how to pilot the ship.
It might be too late.
It might be too late, yeah.
Okay. Oh.
You feel underneath you.
I'm just
The ship feels like it's pressing forward. You hear the whine of the engine speeding up, and you can feel that the ship is moving faster. It's accelerating now.
Okay. Sorry, I'm reading animal stats.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going. Yeah. So if I could get a rope up to the top.
Yeah, I was going to say take the rope with you before you go.
Yeah. Uriel, I need your belt.
One day I will keep this on for a whole hour. Fine.
Infinity scans through her databanks and remembers and locks into this creature that she knows can climb pretty much anything. And she's going to wild shape into a giant spider. A giant wolf spider with stars all over its body.
Oh, I was expecting you to say the cave centipede then. I'm so glad you didn't.
No. The spider can climb difficult surfaces, including upside down on ceilings, without needing to make an ability check. So I'm gonna either take the rope or kind of look at them and be like, maybe tie the rope to me.
Ali gave you such a proud dad look then.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dad. And then I'm off. I'm up. I'm going.
You attach the rope to your abdomen. That's the sound of you transforming.
No, she doesn't make that horrible noise. She doesn't.
A lovely wolf spider.
Does Infinity also still have her humanoid head on this spider body?
No.
She's a
Like a
lovely,
Dark
lovely
Souls boss.
spider.
No, she's a lovely spider.
And her
we have
legs
a
are in
creature
fact
from
her
Toy Story.
human arms.
No, stop it. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, you leave her alone. No,
not
they're
canon.
She
not.
doesn't know what a wolf spider looks like. It only makes sense. She'd be
No,
like, oh, yes.
but we said she would know. They'd just be all starry. And she doesn't know noises, so for all she knows, it's a cat again. She's going, meow, meow. She
And
goes,
in some strange way, that's even more horrifying. This vast predator.
again, it's really cute and lovely.
Pitter patter and climb your way in that sickening spider-like motion, all the way up the sides of the walls, all the way onto the roof of the pod.
Okay.
And you approach the hole. What are you doing when you get there?
Going through the hole. Yeah, I will. I want to get up onto the top. Does it look like it's straight into a ship?
As you enter, you look up through this hole. What you see is the inside of a ship, some sort of craft, very, very different to the inside of the ship you're currently in. As your eyes adjust to the low light, tell me, does the spider have any sort of dark vision?
It actually has blind sight and dark vision.
Damn.
Can spiders see very well in real life?
This one's eyes.
Well, actually, hunting spiders can, don't they? Because they've got binocular vision rather than, on either side.
I'm loving this spider. It's badass.
And blind sight is through. Is that through vibration? As in, that's the web vibration, correct? That's what I think.
Let me have a look.
It's
Let
just
me
like
check for
on
you.
this aircraft as it's going through the atmosphere. It's like, it's really bloody loud.
It just says.
Oh my gosh, it's really loud in here.
Oh no, deafened.
Yeah, it just says a creature with blind sight can perceive its surroundings without relying on sight within a specific radius. Creatures without eyes, no, it has eyes. Creatures with echolocation or heightened senses, such as bats and true dragons, have this sense. But it does say, I've got it for 10 feet though. It's only 10 feet of blind sight, but it's 60 feet of dark vision. Maybe it is. Yeah, maybe it's a web thing, because it says quite a lot about webs. So maybe I don't have blind sight without a web.
You insert the top half of your body into the hole and gaze around.
Oh my
All of your
god.
8 eyes moving in different directions, taking in the inside
Oh
of this
my
craft.
god.
Uriel and Tenebris, you see the abdomen of this hunting spider just forced up, squashing its way into this hole.
This is making Uriel
He's a
feel
chunky
very
spider.
conflicting opinions. Right? Very conflicting feelings.
Infinity,
Love a chunky
inside,
spider.
you see what is unmistakably the inside of some sort of spaceship. It is tight. There is not a lot of room in here. It's clearly a one-person ship, and you can see that towards the top of this ship, which is can only be 12 feet long, so it's only 3 or 4 meters long in total. Towards the top, you can see that there is a viewing port, but the whole ship it's shaped like a spinning top, in a way, almost shaped like. So it's sort of conical going one way, conical going the other way.
Okay.
And it seems like one end of the cone has stuck into the ship and bored through it. And that's what you're entering through, and you're looking up at the other end of the cone, and that's where these blinking lights seem to be coming from. And you can see that there are what seem to be like rudimentary controls there, something that you might be able to use to pilot, and a way of seeing out of the craft. The other thing, as your eyes adjust, you realize this isn't built of metal. This isn't constructed in the way that the other ships you've been in have been. This feels grown.
Uriel doesn't like.
And in fact, with your spider, the ends of your spider legs touching the surface, you feel a smoothness there. but also a kind of wave that moves throughout. So almost like the surface of bone or even enamel. And as that thought strikes you...
Is it a tooth ship?
It's as though you're inside a tooth, a canine, hollowed out, and you're in the centre of it. It has that same feel, and you can feel just from touching that the material it's made from is incredibly tough.
It's a tooth fairy.
Oh!
Thank you.
God damn it.
Sorry, continue with the horrifying
Emily Bates,
description.
everyone.
Thank you.
She's here all week. We can't get her to leave.
Okay, I'm done.
As you are having this realization, you hear coming from the flight deck.
Very quick.
The flight deck.
The rope.
It's down on the floor. I'm a spider. It would be hanging down from me.
Oh, the rope is okay. Right, okay.
I'm going to not drop my wild shape because that would be stupid.
Drop the rope.
All 8 legs.
No, I'm just gonna cling on. Oh god, it's got bags.
We've got a
No,
quick
tie it
cut.
to something.
I'm a wolf spider. How do I tie? I can't tie something as a
Good
wolf
point.
spider.
Have you got webbing? Can you web it to something?
It doesn't say I have any sort of
Okay,
web
okay,
that I
you
can
actually
do
have
anything
those,
with. I
okay.
think that's unfair.
You're just going to start climbing the rope.
Your legs
Okay.
were the arms of Infinity's hands. I mean, then tying a rope
but
would certainly be...
Not canon.
Not canon. It's fine.
Spiders actually have...
To be fair, the spider is just as strong as Infinity is, so it doesn't make a
They're
difference.
very small
Okay.
hooks, aren't they? On
So
the ends of
is that...
spiders, though.
So
They-
the...
They're not very grabby though, right?
Yeah, it's like Captain Hook trying to tie a bowline.
Yeah.
Like,
So the rope
Okay.
is attached to Infinity.
I want to get in as far as I can into the ship
Yeah.
and like just grab onto things.
Right.
Uriel is climbing the
So
rope.
you're just grabbing on with your arms and legs. Okay. Tenebris, you break from your hiding place, climb up and out, and grab a hold of this rope which is dangling down from the hole. You look up to see the outline of this spider. You put your weight to it.
Uriel's
roll-
going first, I think.
Yeah, Uriel
is
said
it?
he was going first. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm just watching the door and just.
Just so you know,
preparing.
the DC for Uriel is in terms of holding him, is harder than the DC for Tenebris because Uriel is a lot heavier.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I can't cast guidance in my spider form, can I? No, I can't. I know I can't. I'm just. I just wish I could.
Roll.
Hyperdrive deactivated.
Oh, good.
Deactivated.
Roll an athletics check, Infinity, and an athletics check, Uriel, to climb the rope.
Nat 20.
Thank fuck. I got a 12.
Wow. So do they balance out, or are they entirely separate?
Uriel, you hair up the rope, countering the swinging of the rope in with your body motions. You manage to decrease somewhat the pressure that is on Infinity. Infinity with a 12. You start to slip. You don't fall out, but you are being pulled inexorably towards the bottom of the ship. You feel like Uriel is almost reaching you, but you both need to make one more athletics check.
He wants us to fall. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones.
19.
Oh, that's nice. I got a 3.
Uriel, you, with one movement, pull yourself up, leap up to grab the inside. As you do, you realize you have pulled Infinity out of the hole. As you reach up with one hand to grab the inside of the spaceship, which is attached to the top of this shuttle, Infinity falls past you. Roll a dexterity saving throw.
Me?
No, both of you.
Oh, I use the spider's dex, don't I? Yeah. So
14.
Yeah, that's better than mine. Natural 20.
As you're falling past,
Oh God! It's a giant spider.
you try and reach this spider. Your hand slips off the hairs around its legs, the
There's no
side
hair.
hairs, but
Metal hair.
the ends of its legs grab tight to you, and then it wraps itself around you. You know, like a spider when it's dead, sort of curls its legs all around like that. That's it's wrapped up like you. And you pull yourself.
Bob Dolden like this. Oh.
So both of you are now in the spaceship attached to the top of the shuttle. As this is happening,
Oh god. Oh god.
You hear footsteps coming down.
You need to take the rope off. I can't do anything.
Get the rope down. Can I hold the rope? It's like
tie it to something. Infinity doesn't say because she's a spider.
Can I? Okay, I think Uriel in this situation would just hold on to the rope and try and assist Tenebris down, like not try and tie it to something.
And I will also try and grab things again.
Oh, okay.
Tenebris.
So Tenebris has been sort of like repeatedly like pushing her forehead and like looks ready at this door, but like upon like hearing the fall is like almost like, oh god, I'm gonna get crushed, and then seeing that they've kind of readied, I'm gonna try and climb the rope.
Tenebris, roll athletics. And
not good at that.
Either Uriel or Infinity athletics with advantage.
Uriel, take it away.
Sure.
I am a spider.
A 21.
4. No.
This is the chasm all over again.
A lot of falling. Just a lot of falling happening.
With
Good
a
at
4,
falling. Yeah.
you cannot summon the strength to climb.
I've got weak little arms.
But you can hold on for dear life.
Okay.
You're great at holding on to this rope.
Winched. And with 21 strength, you begin to be winched up. You are now dangling about halfway in the air.
I can move you.
Not again.
Here we go again.
This is sort of like thematic callbacks. It's great.
At that moment...
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
The door opens. The face of this creature stares round. You see first incomprehension, then anger cover the features of this creature, and then suck back. It reaches out a stringy arm towards you, and then starts to dash towards you. Roll another athletics check, everybody. Uriel with advantage and Tenebris.
17.
Fine, everything's fine.
Oh, I thought you said 5. Oh my god.
Oh god, that was so nearly a natural one. 17.
Tenebris, you feel your strength returning to you in the sudden face as the adrenaline rushes. This thing starts powering its way towards you. You pull yourself up, one hand over the other, and Uriel, you tug her, and at last, all three of you are inside the ship. At that point,
Presumably it's pretty tight.
Yeah.
It's like an Apollo spacecraft.
Tenebris, as you are disappearing into the ship, you see flashes of light around the feet of this creature.
Oh no! What's happening?
Shit! One fucking thing after another.
Chariot of firearms through the air.
Kind of cool.
Being
kind of badass
higher and higher. And with a guttural roar, it is hurtling through the air towards you. You have all time to do, well, to take a round before this thing reaches you.
Am I still on a rope, or I'm on solid ground?
No, you're all in the shuttle. You're all in this ship now.
I would like to move myself to the back, so where the guy would be coming through. I want to get myself like closest to him and blocking the other two.
Now would be a really useful time to have that. Okay.
Tenebris
Fly the ship.
Tenebris is freaking like casting at them. Like she's been like just like holding it in and just like mustn't reveal. But like it's just gonna burst out, and as
Let's go.
She is going to try and cast sleep. on this
Oh my god!
person midair.
The thing is, the boots would still be going, so they just
Smashes into the ceiling.
yeah.
10-pin
go.
potato pin down on the ground.
We'll do this Tenebris and then Infinity and then Uriel.
Okay.
Autopilot activated. Hyper
Guys, I found out how to work the autopilot.
Great.
Okay.
Press the button. Hooray!
Okay, so crouching down, Tenebris like extends a hand and seems to be sort of like massaging the air, almost making sort of strange motions. Oh fuck! Bloody! That was a bad roll.
Or him.
Oh, that's really bad. Oh, that's
No chance.
That's super bad. No, yeah, no.
Super bad for him. Them. I mean,
Them.
Them. My spell only affects 15 hit points of creature.
You reach out, feeling through the air. You instantly feel like this isn't going to be enough. But on top of that, you get a strange sensation. Whenever you've used this ability before, you've been able to feel the shape of the brain activity that you're affecting. This creature, something is very wrong.
Ooh.
The shape is all over the place. It is wild and difficult to control, but at the same time completely laser focused. You feel like even if you were to try and with much more power, it might be difficult to subdue a creature like this in this way. Infinity.
I just want to get in between as a spider, so that if they do get close, I'm gonna bite them.
autopilot deactivated.
Can I hold an action? Can I hold my bite action?
Yeah, you can hold an action for when they approach you.
I'd like to do that, please.
that's a surprise attack, surely. Like, being attacked by a 6-foot-tall spider is pretty surprising in your own space.
I don't think it's a 6-foot-tall spider.
6 foot across, presumably.
I don't think it is. No. It's medium.
Yeah, Uriel's going to scramble up to the top and see if he can make anything of the controls and work out a quick release button or something that will get us away.
You make it to the top of the ship. You can see out into the clear blue of the sky, almost darkened as you're looking up into what seems to be a darkening sky. You look around you at the controls. Strangely, the controls seem to be quite simple, almost as though they were designed to be used by, well, roll an insight check.
Oh my god, are they Gem Hadar? Is that what this is? Right, insight. I am so insight. That's a 7.
You don't get a sense of why a ship might have been constructed like this, but you can tell this is a simple design, it's a simple layout, and there's a joystick in front of you, and just a few buttons either side, and a thrust lever. What looks like a thrust lever.
Cool. Do any of the buttons have any kind of signifier on?
Make a perception check.
Natural 1.
They're
buttons!
This is going to be great.
Press the big red button.
It's actually starting to vibrate a little bit in here as the
man.
speed of the ship builds up, and you can even start to hear very slightly this high-pitched keening noise, and what you think is the air starting to break in through the seal that appears to be attaching this ship to the shuttle below it. You are speeding up and speeding up.
Right, full throttle. It's going to mash that throttle on full. Best case scenario, it pushes us away.
no.
Worst case scenario, it pushes us into him.
Not against
you wang the throttle forward.
Wang that throttle. Wang it.
And
My new favourite phrase.
Infinity, around you,
Oh.
you feel flesh starting to form.
I'm sorry. No.
In what way does it? Is it like radial, like a sphincter closing?
It's not quite radial. It is as though it's flowing down the inside of this ship. And,
Glowing flesh.
and forming a solid base around the ship. It's not a flat base, it's conical again. So again, think of a canine which has been removed, an extracted tooth with the root, and it feels like that is what is being formed. At this point, you hear... and you, Uriel, feel thrust. Strong thrust coming from the sides of the craft. And Infinity,
Yes.
for a second, you see a look of panic cross the face of this creature. And then, boom! They land on the side. You see their fingers on the side of the ship that you guys are all currently in. You see their fingers grasping in as the flesh starts to flow around their arms, around their hands, and you hear them go as the flesh flows over their face, and then it solidifies around everything. The shuttle, you feel the power of this ship, and then everyone is flung back to the floor of the ship. Uriel, were you in? Everybody make a dexterity saving throw.
I get to use spider stats.
What is going
15.
on?
12.
11.
Uriel, you just reach out. You manage to grab hold of one of the protrusions on the inside of this strange biological vessel. Infinity and Tenebris, you are flung back. You land on the bottom end of the ship. You both take 4 points of damage. And Uriel, you see the lights, what few there are, come up on what appears to be the control panel. You feel the pressure, the force, the G's of this craft. You are heading what feels like straight upwards, and the sky above you is darkening.
God. Oh my god.
Move the joystick.
Oh
Doesn't really matter which direction. Move the joystick up, down, away from me.
Oh man.
With a sickening lurch, you all float for a second.
All my spider legs.
Rotate slowly. Yes.
Like the start of Deadpool.
Tenebris, you see in front of you the waggling legs of a huge spider unmoored. Uriel, you are laser focused on what's happening in front of you. You see.
I'm just floating behind Uriel trying to drive. That's so
the
funny.
Inspiration.
You see for a second the bright blue curvature of the upper atmosphere.
Jesus, how fast are we going?
God, we went too far up. We went too far up.
Pull back on the accelerator. Pull back on the throttle.
As it, and then everyone is thrown to the side. Another dexterity saving throw.
Oh god.
God.
Come on, Spidey.
Come on,
Nope.
Barry.
5.
21.
Was that dex save?
Mm-hmm.
23 with a natural 20.
Ooh, girl. I got 5.
Tenebris, you managed to. You starting to get the feel of what the inside of the ship is like. It has strange protuberances, knobs, bumps, and places where you could lodge yourself if you want. You managed to just curl up inside one of them before the G's pull. Uriel, you have a strong sense of what you're doing now. You've inserted yourself into what feels like the cavity where a pilot might sit. You're reaching out, you're holding the controls. You can feel the force of this ship now, like you're riding it like a horse. Infinity, you are flung to the side. A spider thrown against the side of this ship. You take another 4 points of damage.
Cool. Still a spider.
Now, Uriel and Tenebris both looking out of the transparent front of this craft. You see beneath you the forests and mountains of Braxigantu whirling, almost blurring as you spin and spin,
So bad.
slowly tipping down back towards the earth.
You're
die.
just going to try and course correct.
At this stage, roll me an intelligence check and a dexterity check.
Just Uriel.
Just Uriel.
All
I
right.
should definitely stop being a spider, shouldn't I?
Here we go. Party's life is in my hands, and what do I roll?
Come on, Uriel.
I got a
Don't-
17 for my
Nice.
intelligence.
Okay,
We like it, we like it.
Good,
A dex
good.
check, not saving throw, yeah?
Smart monkey's smart.
Dex check.
Got a natural one. I know exactly what to do, and have no idea how to do it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the size of it. You can start to understand what's going on here. This is a very simple ship, but one very carefully designed. It has a mode of attack, it has a mode of travel, and you, just from seeing how far you came in that short amount of time, realize that the force, the thrust generated by this thing is massive. You feel like you could cover huge amounts of ground. However, the other thing you realize is that what escaped you when you first looked at the controls of this ship, it is designed to be flown with no other intelligence guiding you. It is specifically designed so that one creature with the requisite training and dexterity can pilot this ship wherever it needs to go. However, that means that you, as someone operating this without any form of artificial intelligence helping you, guidance system, are in serious trouble. And with a nat 1, you lose control. The ship begins to wobble on its axis, and you start spiraling down towards the ground.
Oh, well, this is it, everyone. It's been lovely. Infinity's going to drop out of wild shape.
It can't. Right. It's designed as an attack craft, so it's meant to be. It's designed to withstand hitting something at great speed.
You don't know that.
Well, I mean,
Why
I don't know
not
what
be?
the speed.
we heard
Yeah,
it
great
twang.
speed.
We
Great
heard it.
speed and great
Can-
speed is there's a lot of speed between those two.
Infinity is
points.
very used to traveling at very fast paces through space. Can I try and work out what needs to be done to stabilize this ship?
Absolutely. Wait. You know what needs to be done.
Oh, good.
Uriel knows what needs to be done.
Okay.
You need to be able to pilot it with the requisite skill to be able to stop it from, to be able to get it to do what you need to do.
Sure.
You try and work out. Yeah,
What
that's
that
what
is?
you know.
Okay.
Uriel, by the way, is like incredibly high on adrenaline right now. This is like an experience that is completely blowing their mind in like kind of a positive way.
So Infinity can't work out what to do at all.
Okay.
Emily is confused.
Roll an investigation check. Let's see if you
Okay.
can see anything which might give you a helping hand here.
12.
Okay, what you see is that the joystick, which is clearly how this craft is controlled, seems to be incredibly sensitive. That even the slightest movement is sending the ship spinning off in loads of different directions.
And is Uriel like moving it a lot at the moment?
You can see that Uriel is massively overcorrecting.
Okay,
Does
great.
not have the fine motor control required to really bring.
Can
the
I
craft
do-
into-
Can I do like ghost pottery wheel and like try and grab it?
It's happening!
What's your real feel right now?
She doesn't have time to like take his hands off. She just goes. Ah!
This is very risky. We don't have the belt on at the moment either.
Oh man.
While
Infinity
this
is a rifle.
happening, Tenebris, are you doing anything before we?
Okay, this is not going to help us save the world, so no, I'll leave it.
Aw.
Bold of you to assume that we will be doing anything
So-
useful.
Our lives, I meant, by the world. My
Oh yeah,
personal
we are the
lives.
world. We are
Yeah.
the world. Yeah.
And so you're helping Uriel, Infinity, right?
Yes.
Okay, Uriel, roll another dexterity check with advantage, but the DC is higher.
Boy, okay. Okay, that wasn't great first time round.
Okay.
That's an 18.
It's not gonna be enough.
Feel the ship coming back under control, but you do not have full control. You manage to arrest the fall. So you are leveled out now.
I'm very distracted, is what's happening right now.
I'm just trying to help Uriel.
Over the landscape. You're swaying from side to side. You feel like you may not be on a collision course anymore, but you're not in full control of this ship.
I was going to ask, can I see anything out the window that looks like not mountains that maybe if we are going to hit, I can try and guide us to somewhere that isn't as deadly?
I am going to, first of all, roll d4. 1, you're going north. 2, you're going east.
Okay.
3, you're going south.
I'm stressed.
What would be the worst thing for a toothed spaceship to land on? Would it be like hard, like Blackpool rock or something?
Tooth spaceship. Ugh.
Oh no, we're heading for the popcorn. We won't be able to get it out for ages. Shit, it's a sea of
it's-
full fat Coke.
That's what I was gonna say.
It's corroding.
Roll a
ready.
perception check. Everyone who's looking out of the window, roll a perception check.
Cool. 18.
17.
I'm hiding.
Tenebris, not Tenebris, Uriel and Infinity. Can I just ask for a second, now that the ship is under control, are you, or more under control, are you in the same position?
Oh, Infinity wouldn't move.
I think this is working.
Sorry, I just thought it needed a bit of help stabilizing. I'm not. No.
Just having a moment right now.
Trying not to make joystick.
Which way are we
jokes.
heading?
You look out through the transparent end of this cone, the tip of the tooth. What you see beneath you, you're much higher now than you were before. You seem to be travelling at a much greater speed. Beneath you, you see the valley, which you were going to land in. The valley where Switchback Run is, and the Narrowston Falls. If you look at your map, I'm not sure it says on there, but you would have heard in passing, this is Sawtooth Valley, called because of the ridges that come out the side of the mountains. You are moving towards where the rivers meet the sea.
Ooh,
In fact, you now break through the valley and you come over what looks like from this distance to be a massive delta. Huge and wide, steaming from what looks like vegetation underneath you, flat, and no mountains to be seen around you at all. And in front of you, at the moment just a blue line on the horizon, but becoming larger and larger, you see some huge body of water with tendrils of these rivers, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of inlets coming from the water up into the delta.
Not against Hudson Rivering this bitch. Let's go.
How acidic is the sea
We don't know.
on Braxigantu?
Infinity is seeing the sea for the first time.
I know. Infinity's really,
It's
really
like the
fucking happy.
Hobbits.
She's literally flying above
Like
like
the
the planet.
Hobbits.
She's very happy, but she's also more
The whole
concerned.
planet. With Hudson Rivering this bitch.
And not killing everyone.
Delta Mud's quite soft.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do?
Aim it to the nice, just nice casual aiming to like skid, like a skipping stone,
Yeah.
flat.
Pull back the throttle
Doop,
and
doop, doop.
coast in for a nice...
Just nice, smooth. Maybe not smooth, but at least less deathly. Doop 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 doop. Like that. I want to go doop 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 doop.
That's usually what pilots try and avoid in the landing, isn't it?
I
feel like at this point-
If you put your seats up and your tray tables back, we're about to commence the doop doop doop.
Severe. Doop 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 doop.
I was once on a plane, and they actually announced that we were landing, and it was landing in Inverness, and they did the intercom thing, and then they didn't turn it off, and we could all hear what was going on in the cockpit, and the last thing they
Worst
said
nightmare.
before we touched down was I heard someone in the cockpit go, "Oh God!" And it was like
That's-
half a second
but
before we
that's-
touched the ground.
That's almost definitely because they realised the intercom was on and not because of the landing.
Didn't feel like that at the time.
No. Oh, that's my worst nightmare. Also, breaking news: Simon Clark has been on a plane. Oh my!
Not for a very long time now.
Oh, mate, that's
I'm being
so
mean.
rude.
I'm
I
being
can't believe you
mean.
did
I was on a
that.
plane in November. I'm
Been on
awful.
planes
Yeah.
As you're
alone.
having this lovely conversation, you are speeding and speeding. Is there, Infinity? You can absolutely bring up the map which
Oh,
you
yeah.
downloaded. If you want to try and get an idea of which direction you're headed.
I would like to do that, and maybe being a terraforming robot, I could make some kind of survival check to look around and be like, that bit of land looks nice and squishy and less explodey.
Is there, looking at the map, is there a particular place that you're aiming for? You are so high now that you feel like you could choose a place on that map and attempt to get to it.
Oh, I see. Sorry, the map, you mean the drawn map?
No, I mean
No.
the satellite map.
I could pick any of those places.
You are currently
Lost the picture.
Could we land there? Because the reason that we're aiming for the water is the confidence about landing.
Yeah.
The DC
Wait, where are we? Are we at
landing's
Are we
I'm
coming
really
up to
confused
Lansdowne
now.
Port?
You're over a huge delta. You've come.
Delta. There's no delta on that
I
map.
can't find
Yes,
the picture
so-
anymore.
We're off.
For the sake of convenience, you have gone south.
We're off the map!
You've gone south and you've gone through the Sawtooth Valley. So you've broken
Yeah.
through there, that little inlet,
God.
and now you're over this massive delta, and you can see the sea coming towards you. And yes, Lansdowne Port is in that direction.
Okay. Oh gosh. Yeah. I'll aim for the water.
Which bit of water? Water here. Are we talking river? Are you aiming for the sea?
No, Lansdowne Port.
Lansdowne Port.
Delta.
Wait, but not near if I can see a
Not into
town,
a
I'm not
wall.
gonna aim for the town.
A
just wanna-
nearby bit of river.
A nice river would be lovely. A nice river.
Because we think we can maybe make a water landing, nothing else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Uh,
Ali's looking at me like that's really stupid. Infinity's
Make-
smarter than Emily.
make a perception check to see if you can see where Lansdowne Port might be through the window. You have this map in your
16.
mind, right? You think you see what looks like smoke on the horizon, just a tiny plume of smoke rising
Okay.
in the distance.
That way.
As this is happening, Uriel, you feel the thrust begin to drop. You have not moved.
did we run out of fuel
Thrusting.
already? What is happening?
It's just-
What is happening?
I think wherever we want to go, we need to make a decision quite soon.
Yes, I'm aiming for the water.
So Tenebris has been pondering the risks and benefits of this, but Tenebris is just gonna sort of. Oh no, she's not. No, never mind. Forget it.
Oh, you know what I would like to do? As this is going, I want to cast guidance on Uriel.
Well, you do that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, do that a lot.
Yeah, I forgot I have this. I have guidance.
Yeah. This is why I never take guidance, because I cannot.
So you've got
I have it.
1 minute, where before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to one ability check of your choice. So, yeah, and you can roll the die before or after making the ability check. That's what it does. And I
Your
think that is
altitude
done by
Is dropping.
telling it what to do. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm aiming for the water. Or is that not possible? Have I realised that's not? I'm aiming for a river.
Is the one steering the ship.
I'm ghosting.
So, just to be clear, is it possible? Like, does it look like the Delta is within fuel range, considering that our trajectory is dropping?
The Delta is all around you. It is massive.
Great, good.
Okay,
Good.
well,
Let's go.
let's twist it so that at least we're going to be close to a shore, but not on a shore.
Yeah. Like it.
Shallow
And
water.
then put it down.
You tip the nose of the ship down, rocking ever so slightly, and now you've developed a very slight rotation. So as this is happening, you are turning through 360 degrees. So right now you're at about 2 o'clock. You're at a slight angle to the ground, and the ship is still turning. As you're going down towards, you can see where the shore is. It's within reach, you think. You have also seen a plume of what looks like smoke or steam or something rising from a part of the shoreline.
Has anybody turned around and checked to see if the person is
No.
hands are
I
still
will
there?
deal with that in a minute.
I would be vaguely interested in peeking out to see if I can see any limbs sticking out from the flesh prison around the.
Roll an
Flesh
investigation
prison.
check.
That's what Uriel says you all are.
That's true. I've been accidentally picking up Uriel's language.
President company accepted. Please
Yeah.
don't move your arms.
Oh, I got a 17 on my investigation.
It is dark in here, but you have excellent dark vision. You look around looking for anything which might indicate the presence of this person. And
Oh,
you
he's on
see-
the inside. I thought he was on the outside. I thought they were on the
You
outside.
can't
Got
see
engulfed
the
by the flesh.
outside.
Oh no. Oh,
It
yeah, I was
is-
trying to look through a window. Okay.
However, what you
Yeah.
do see are nubbins, little protrusions inside. You run your hands over them and you feel skin.
Oh.
It feels like fingertips sticking out into the inside of the cockpit.
Can I see any of their actual skin, the bluish greyish skin, or is it all gum?
It's greenish grey, and
greenish
yes,
grey,
you
sorry.
can.
Okay. Given that I can see, I don't know why I'm doing this now, but given that I can technically see them, would you agree that I can see them?
I
You
would
did
agree
just
you can
say.
see them, yes.
I am just gonna reach out and sense the colony and sense the sort of extensions of myself.
I love them.
And I'm just gonna look for this weird brain and just see if it's there, see if it's alive, see if I can work out how it works enough to say the word hello into it.
Oh, cool.
You realise that the colony is all around the outside of the ship. It's everywhere.
Shit.
And in fact, can reach out and sense some form of mind. You reach in and say hello into the swirling chaos. It's almost as though you're in the middle of some huge engine. You don't understand how it works. There's pieces moving all over the place, some strange clockwork which is driven to some goal that you don't understand. And it's talking to itself in a language that you also do not understand.
So, the alien person got halfway, fingertip into the alien sphincter, which then closed, and then has been dragged through the atmosphere, but is still hanging on by their fingertips in the
We
sphincter.
think, maybe.
And seem to be alive.
Fine.
But I don't
We
speak
can
their language.
deal with
Okay,
that in a
fine.
minute.
Fine. Yeah, that's fine. I can't ask them anything.
As this is happening, the ground is coming larger and
Putting us
larger from
down.
your viewpoint, Uriel.
I want to try and correct that roll and put us
You
down.
overcorrect and
Nope.
no,
No.
roll me a dexterity check.
No,
Guidance
so was that 1d4 added?
1d4, yeah.
And am I still getting advantage because she's ghosting me? Not ghosting me, you know what I mean? Yes.
You can decide to use the guidance after you've rolled, if you want. It's a cantrip, I can do it again.
Okay, right. So yeah, that's a 14. That's a 14. So I'll roll the d4.
Yeah.
Add to it. Gone off the table. I'll roll a d8 and halve it. I get an extra 2.
16. You correct and ever so slightly overcorrect, so now you're spinning the other way. So soon you will end up being upright again, but then you'll keep going. So an improvement, but not exactly what you're after. And the ground is still getting larger and larger. Now, what you can see rushing up towards you, you can see the shore, you can see these dense, now what look like swamplands. You can see
swamp, great.
large bodies of water. You can see trees, short, stubby, with long, broad leaves, and in the distance, but you think potentially reachable, you still see this plume of smoke, right, rising.
We're gonna come down in the bayou.
Bayou, yeah.
Gonna
Swamp,
get
please.
munched by a gator.
Then I could be a gator later.
Oh, you
Where are
could. That'd be great.
The swamp. The swamp. Infinity.
Okay, just straight down. Are you trying to go for the shore?
There's no.
Near the shore, not on
Near
land,
the
but
shore.
like
Near the like
the
shallow
split the
water.
difference.
the mud of the delta
Split
that leads
the
up to the
difference.
shore.
Yeah.
Right. You get the feeling that in order to land this craft, you're either going to have to pull off some miraculous feat of dexterity, or somehow you're all going to have to work together to find a way to land this thing well.
Okay, I have no idea of how we do that. So,
are you saying that our current plan will kill us all? Because our current plan is to hit the water so that we don't all die upon impact, but
Yeah.
basically
Is
to
it
crash.
to hit the water? Because I've heard it's to hit the bayou.
yeah, the like swampy water
The shallow water. So
of a swamp. So
we
you go
do-
like.
shallow, watery mud that we think will protect us from being killed upon impact. That's our plan. That's why we're aiming for water. That's why we're aiming for like near the shore so we can kind of like get out to land.
We're
But
going for the American landing idea rather than the Russian landing idea.
Exactly. Space
Yeah.
shuttles. Yeah.
All I would add is that, and I just want to be fair,
This is a bad
because
plan,
I don't know if
that's what
you're
I'm saying.
assuming that you've done this or not, but you've not actually investigated the inside of the ship. You've looked into it, but at no
Okay.
point have you tried to see what's in here apart from these controls.
because
I don't know if you think.
Oh,
you've done
right.
that.
Right.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
okay. It's just very small, so I
I'm
shouldn't
looking
use very
around
much.
for a parachute.
Yeah. 3 parachutes, please.
Oh, I meant a ship parachute again.
Oh, that's
for
even
the,
better,
you know,
actually.
coming
Oh, that's
in
way
and
better.
slowing down. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a good idea.
That's
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we're going for more the Russian side of things.
Yeah. Okay. I am
Let's-
gonna. Sorry. Yes. If there is
Sky
more than
crane.
just the controls that Uriel is already looking at and is kind of blocking, if there's anything else, I will have a look. Can I investigate?
Yeah.
Bad at investigating, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Oh, I got a 3.
Great.
You.
Don't worry, guys. I fixed everything.
It's
You're right.
squishy in here,
Oh,
but
it's
it's
squishy.
bits are kind of surprisingly squishy.
This is very squishy.
Oh.
Did you guys see how squishy this all is?
I haven't really looked at it yet. Infinity will look around.
Roll an investigation check.
It's such.
I'm like,
Come on!
Dad driving.
Non-natural
Just
20.
like, yeah, sorry.
Uriel, as this is happening, now almost you can't see the sea anymore. You're getting closer and closer and closer. It's disappeared. It's now just green, lush, verdant green all around you.
Big dice, let's go.
Infinity, you take a moment, focus, and what you see is that yes, Tenebris is right, it is squishy, but it's only squishy in certain places. And what it seems like is that the squishiness molds itself around you.
Like
As
Uriel.
You put out your hand, you feel that the flesh molds itself to form some sort of cushion in certain places within the craft.
Okay. A cushion. Oh, like. Poke it a bit.
Airbag.
Forms a cushion around your finger, and it's almost as though your finger is protected.
Oh.
Cushioned.
The ground
Can I
rushes
try
up
and
towards you.
like get into the cushions? And I'm just gonna like throw myself into the wall and see what happens.
The wall, much as the way you saw the flesh form around
God.
I hate
the
this.
person who was chasing you, it
Oh,
sucks you in ever so
jeez.
slightly, and you're suspended almost in this jelly-like substance.
Get into the cushions. No.
I'm gonna try and put it on the course, peel the fingers off the joystick, leave it.
Uriel,
What?
Uriel, with this, before you do that, with this, hearing what Infinity said, you flex your powerful buttocks, and
They're back, baby!
but you realise that the sort of indentation that you're sitting in, this cavity, also appears to be forming itself around the shapes of your body.
Ah.
Does make sense. It'd be odd if like the pilot didn't.
Yeah,
get the
okay.
cushioning. I was like, well, what would that be about? Okay, Tenebris is gonna see Infinity into the wall and like start like arbitrarily like patting the wall, just like hands outstretched until she finds a squishy bit. At which point she's just gonna sort of go face first into the wall.
I think Uriel's gonna be Uriel's sat there gonna go, this is the grossest thing I have ever seen in my life.
Tenebris, what's your Constitution modifier?
Oh God, you're gonna suffocate.
It's entirely possible. Yes, I'm in a bit of a rush right now, though. You know, my Constitution modifier is +2.
So you have 4 minutes of oxygen, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, 4 minutes is a long time. 4 minutes is a long
You
time.
feel this strange flesh-like substance close
Oh,
over your
no.
face, and you can't breathe, but you do feel suspended. Uriel,
Systems active.
as the ground rushes towards you, you try to pull the ship up into some form of dead bird. What is it? Dead bird landing? It can't be that. That's when you
That would be a bad landing, I think.
That would, yeah.
Skimming stones.
Hudson River. You're trying to Hudson River this
Yeah.
shit.
Albatrosses land very awkwardly. It might be an albatross landing.
They're huge.
Roll
That's not
me
their fault.
a dexterity check.
Doop, 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 doop. Roll high. You're
Yeah,
roll
really high, please. Thank
And I've
you.
not got advantage anymore because I'm not being ghosted. Well, I have actually been ghosted now by Infinity.
Ghosted into the wall. Sorry. Should have cast guidance on you before I left and didn't.
Got a 9.
Goodbye, cruel world.
Clenches.
your mind.
Squeaky bum time.
Concentrate. You pull back on the joystick, but you've pulled back too far. Now you head it back up. You try and course correct. You push forward. Now it's spinning the ship head over tail. Blackness. And then silence.
Dear Lord, that's creepy.
It's the worst thing you've ever done with the music.
Uriel. There's no light coming in anymore. You don't feel any damage. Infinity, you too feel unhurt. Tenebris, it's been a minute. You feel uncomfortable, but not hurt.
Okay.
It's eerily silent now, and soft around all of you, almost as though you've lost the sensations, you've been deprived of them. But then you feel it coming back, a draft coming in from somewhere, warm, humid air on your face.
If this tooth fairy farts, Ali, where to go?
Fart.
Ah.
That's not how teeth work.
Nothing happens.
Can I pull my face out of flesh, please?
You can, and you see it.
Is everyone okay? Sound off, please.
I think.
I am alive.
Okay. That's good.
It's just dark for everyone. I haven't. It is dark, yeah.
I have dark visions. I don't know how dark it is.
Pretty dark.
Pretty dark, I assume.
It's very dark.
It's very dark.
Very dark.
Okay, I'm worried I hit.
Okay, let's get out of here, please. How do we get out?
I'm gonna try and get out of the wall. Does it like just sort of let go as you move?
Yeah. Can you just like?
Infinity, can you turn the brightness up on your screens to 100?
Technically, that would be. I feel like that's mean because that's technically not a thing I have. I can do.
You don't have.
I don't have light or anything. But
Let's. Say,
oh, I have
do.
druid craft, so you could say it's like a cheeky use of druid craft to be a bit like.
I feel like technically Tenebris has it. I mean,
Okay.
we'll say for flavor that
Oh, cool.
you light up infinity. A gleaming shape, figure in the blackness of this
love her so
shuttlecraft. You see the controls. You see the ridges and the knobbles of the inside of the ship. There is, at the back of the ship, another set of controls.
Each of the pointy bits.
As in, like an open door control, maybe. Can I have a look at them?
Oh.
You could press it, yeah.
I'll press it. Yeah, and press button.
This flesh starts to roll off, flow and slide away, and then light breaks through. Golden light, but also foggy, misty. And then you hear the sounds. Infinity.
I see so many
As-
animals.
The sides of this ship dissolve around you. You see trunks of short, squat trees, massive roots curled and gnarled and worming their way into puddles and pools, reeds, massive bulrushes swaying in what looks like the evening light.
Uriel Tenebris, I think there's a frog.
You are buried almost entirely, this ship, in what looks like mud. Rich, verdant, alluvial mud. The canopies of the trees are very low. The noises are everywhere. Uriel and Tenebris, do you wish to do anything?
Can I look to see what's happened to Scaly Boy?
You absolutely can. At this point, I just need to roll some dice.
Oh no.
He could be dead.
Anybody else
Yeah.
fully expect Ali to like open up the hatch and then we hear like a banjo? And it's,
Dang, 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 dang.
That would be great.
and it's like, oh
That would be
no!
very welcoming.
Squeal like a space pig, son.
You look down. Roll me a perception check. The first thing you notice is that it doesn't appear to be any body on the craft.
6.
So there is no body on the craft.
Oh, good.
Oh fuck! It's gonna be Predator all over.
He's in the ground. Let's get out. He is the ground.
Can I look for the fingertips that I saw before, or the same place?
Oh no.
So the flesh that was encasing them has now disappeared to open up the back end of the
Yeah.
so you can't see any. You could look for the figure itself.
I'm. How bright sunlight is it outside?
It's evening, so
That'd be right.
the sun is coming through this haze rising off the ground in the mist. There is glare, so roll with disadvantage.
I'll look around, and see if I can see because they were right there. They would have had to have left right when we were 10 in the darkness.
With a 10, you know that whatever there was, those fingertips are not here anymore.
Okay. Infinity's going to try and get out and walk out, climb out.
You can, with ease. You get out and look around this space.
She'll just be looking for any signs of life of any form, including weird, creepy person.
Make a perception check.
18.
There is life everywhere here. This is... You can see it around the toes as you're standing now in what's almost ankle-high water. You can feel tadpoles, tiny fishes, skating their way across the metal of your foot.
Tadpole?
You hear birds calling to each other from between the trees, and somewhere far off you hear splashes and ripples in the water. You smell the deep scent of decay, but also life, and also animal shit, and also water.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Still bodies of water. And the last thing you see, a shape on the ground, 10 meters away from you, crumpled up against a small divot in the earth, and it looks like they've almost made this divot. They've landed.
Right. Do they look alive?
You can't tell from this distance.
Wait,
I'll go over.
When you say they made this divot, do you mean they made this divot on impact, or they deliberately made the divot?
Yeah, no. They've gone in.
How? When? Oh no.
They fell off the ship.
They were inside the ship.
I'll go over.
You see the prone, crumpled, and twisted body of the creature who you ran from in the shuttle.
Does it look alive, or is it just a body?
Make a medicine check.
14.
14. It does look alive, and you know why, because you hear and one eye forces its way open, and on that we will call it a day.
I fully expected the hands to just be there, and then
And to come out and be like,
when the
grab.
Then when the sphincter retracted, the hands just flopped because the rest of the body had been torn off.
Unbelievable, guys.
so confused.
That person rolled a nat 20 on their death save.
Wow.
Nice.
So they came back.
Amazing.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
Amazing.
That's really cool. I want to talk to them.
Are we supposed to know how they were flung out? Is that supposed to?
They were on the edge of the ship.
I think they were just
They were
hanging
on the
by their.
inside of the ship. Well, I'm really confused.
Because
whether
we
on
were still in the
inside or
atmosphere.
outside.
So if it's a short flight, you could,
Yeah, but the fingers were on the inside, right?
Yeah, but I think that's just because the ship is like this kind of
it
sucky,
moulded
fleshy,
around them.
weird thing.
But there's bone. Is it not bone the whole way around? Is that why I'm getting confused?
Oh, I don't know.
I assumed it was more like the gum. There was the tooth and then the bits that
and
moved
then the
Yeah.
other bit was gum.
Gross.
But, oh my god, I had to admit, I was really hoping purely for the emotional satisfaction of us hiding from them, that we would get up in the craft, it would close behind it, and the last thing we'd see would just be like him reaching and not making it as we blew off.
Oh, that would be cool.
And the ship crashed.
I think this is more fun. I want to know who they are. I want to know why they came, because they're not the people they expected. So
but the brothers are like the high end. I reckon this is just second.
I don't know.
Second end.
I don't know.
If you can't get the brothers,
if
you go for like the sister.
One person,
I don't think this is true.
if they're low end.
This is weird.
That's true. They've got to be classy, right? They've got to be expensive.
We'll
Probably
find out. Maybe
find out next week.
Next week.
So we're gonna have a quick break now in real life. Not if you're listening to the podcast or YouTube, I guess. So that'll probably be cut out. But we should be back, and do not go anywhere because science will happen.
Science.
There will be chit chats. There will be science. There will be much discussion of a lot of exciting things in this episode. So stick around, and we'll see you in just a few moments. Hi everyone.
Oh gosh. Sorry.
Hello everyone, and welcome back. Pretend that makes sense. Welcome back. We are the RPGeeks still. We've done the Dungeons and Dragons. Now it's time for the science. And there was a lot of exciting things in that episode. So what we're going to do is we're going to just quickly brush across some of the things that came up, just in case anyone has any interesting facts. Some of them might be useful, I think, for future DnDebriefs. And then we're going to go into our chosen topic for this evening based on a fun conversation we had last week, all about gigantic meteors hitting planets and sort of impact craters that they leave behind and things like that. So yeah, first off, science.
The Tooth Ferry.
It's
right.
the rare instance when I know what the episode is going to be called halfway in.
The Tooth Fairy.
The Tooth Ferry.
Absolutely.
Fairy. Oh my gosh.
The best thing is, and I wanted to do it before we left the craft, was I wanted to see if there was a little plaque that said...
Oh, plaque.
Very
good.
But also somebody in Twitch chat pointed out that, like, when you were keeping yourself safe and the organic material pulled around you, you were in a cavity in a tooth.
Oh, very nice.
It writes itself. But that, as a concept, is fascinating to me. The idea of like biological ships, because it's something you do see in sci-fi from time to time. But I'm not a bio person. I have no idea what kind of grounding that has in science, if any.
I mean, the real question is thrust, right? Like, where do you get that from?
Well,
how do you do that? Hello.
Sorry.
Certain words are just out, aren't they? Well, okay.
They're not out. You just have to accept that I will just sit there going in the background.
Because you can get thrust from a chemical. But, like, you know, for example, hypergolic, or you can burn hydrogen, whatever it is. You have something propellant that you put backwards that you are burning, or it's some kind of chemical reaction. Or you can do things using electric fields. So, you know, like a xenon thruster, like an ion thruster. You ionize something, apply electric field, and then it jettisons out the back.
But that's so weak, isn't it? Currently, as we currently have it.
As we
would
currently
never be able to.
But, you know, just thinking about how important electrical impulses are to biological systems, that would make more sense to me, I think, than and require less propellant than. I mean, I do wonder.
I often think about these things is that you don't always have to push yourself, right? You can be pulled, and if there was something above you,
like a tugboat,
sorry,
like a tugboat,
But if there was something above you that was. If you had something embedded in you, like that was magnetic, for example, and you had an incredibly powerful directional magnetic field, it could pull you around without you having to put any of the thrust. Doesn't mean it would necessarily be, you know, you'd be pulling a lot of other stuff with you that got caught in the field. But
yeah, I guess if you were metal and there was just a giant magnet somewhere, but then everything that was metal would get pulled towards that magnet.
Unless you could really directionalize the field.
Yeah. Do you have any more of a concept, Ali, for how the Tooth Fairy propels itself? And are you allowed to tell us?
This could be our ship for the rest of the campaign now. We could now...
It's sinking. It's 100% sinking.
I get out.
It could be... I mean, it could be. You own it now, I suppose.
The Diente.
Oh, that's good.
Like how the Expanse has the Rocinante, we have the Diente.
Diente. That sounds better than the Tooth Fairy.
I like the Tooth Fairy.
I feel like the Tooth Fairy might stick. I'm not the one owning the ship. Yeah, No, I mean, it's a simple answer. I mean, it's always an issue, right? It's like, I mean, you're in the shuttle, right? And you've got massive tanks of fuel propelling you. I mean, you just can't get away from fuel, really, unless you are generating fuel on the hop, like, as you go. So
that's only a problem if it's an entirely biological system. Like, if you were to have some kind of hybrid, some compound that was part biological, part synthetic, then...
That's true. And, I mean, your point that, like, you can generate thrust without just burning a load of hydrocarbons behind you and just being like, yeah, there's an explosion behind me and it pushes me forward. Like, that's true. But I feel like also that to create the amount of force, speed that you were going at, you might need some exterior force, which there might be. You never know.
He says, definitely having a plan.
I feel like, maybe just more like ideas about biological ship design could be a future DnDebrief topic. Because you're right, it comes up in sci-fi.
Oh, yeah,
broad
definitely.
Thing. Like, it's so huge that, definitely could.
I mean, somebody
Just
said
like-
in Twitch chat, I think it was Cass actually, who made the point about, combine that with the interstellar travel to something like solar sails. Like, you could have an entirely biological system. I love the idea of stuff like space whales. It doesn't really make any sense from an evolutionary perspective, but these huge biological organisms in space.
But we've already talked about the tardigrades, right? Like, things can exist in space. Biological things can. So there's no reason why...
A little, though.
Yeah.
If you could harvest energy in space, you couldn't be some sort of massive, very slow-moving
Space whale.
That'd be cool.
So in Farscape they enslaved the space whales and made them their spaceships.
Yes. Man, I haven't watched Farscape for years.
A
I
little bit of
forgot
a
they
throwback
exist.
for you all there.
Can we
Well,
do
I had-
Farscape watch parties? I love Farscape.
I immediately had DS9 vibes from the description today because I was just
The
thinking
connection between the people in the ship and
and how it's designed to be simple. Like, it's not a complicated thing. It's
Yeah,
very Gem
I liked
Hadar
that.
kind of deal.
but it's intuitive if you know how to do it, and if you don't, you're a bit.
It's a really interesting concept, but I'm kind of glad that they didn't die.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exciting, right?
And also,
it's interesting.
there's
as
no
well.
way they're in good shape, so they can't kill us right now.
Hopefully,
Right.
You say that.
We've been proven
Yeah,
wrong
weapon.
before. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
that's true.
They just have to be alive to fire something, right?
Yeah.
The other thing is, like, I mean, to remember, I guess. I don't know if this is super useful, but it is all based on D&D, right? Like, this is the D&D universe.
Yeah.
So things, I haven't just made something just completely be like, boom, here's a completely new thing, right?
You based it on something.
So there is something there, and when you find out what it is, things might make more sense.
Oh no!
Oh,
it's
God.
something.
Boy.
I
Now I
didn't
feel
think it was
D&D
something.
stupid as well as science stupid.
I don't know. It's pretty tangential, but I don't know.
Okay, cool. I'm
That's
intrigued.
That's what I really like about this, actually, because I was thinking often. I think, like, okay, I want to do this thing. This D&D thing has this set of abilities. How does that map?
Yeah.
And then you end up in a really strange place.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So,
So,
a
what-
topic.
I was just saying, was there anything else from today? Because that was obviously the
A topic
Amazing.
I would love for a future D&D brief is to answer the questions about spiders' eyesight and how they sense vibrations and how multiple eyes helps them or doesn't help them. I don't know the answer. I would like to know.
Why didn't we go on? Finish that thought.
Why didn't we?
No,
what
it
what
doesn't
were we
matter. It
supposed
doesn't
to
matter.
do?
It doesn't matter. It's over
we
now.
did not.
It doesn't
We were
matter.
so lost.
Wait, well, no,
there.
go
You
on,
did
say
everything
what you were
needed
gonna
do.
say.
You did everything you had to do. You survived. You were somewhere else. You survived. You won. You're winners.
So
and
we,
you
he
beautiful.
Ali wanted a lot from us, but we did not deliver.
You did so well.
wanted us to go
Yeah.
up when the captain died, and we did not. That's.
What do you think?
I think so.
That no. Oh, I was too cowardly for that.
Infinity was going to do it.
I know. I
because he
didn't.
Was like,
yeah,
I can save
'cause you
her.
could have saved her, but yeah,
The
I
moment-
didn't even think of that.
I want to
Yeah.
mint and sell as an NFT Ali's face
No.
when you came up with the idea of being a spider. Ali was just like, "Oh, you've all grown so much."
How do we kick
That
Simon
was
off of the
bloody
street?
good. That
I was literally here googling like CR1 over 4 monsters that can climb because I was like I have to find one that can climb, and then it came up as like giant wolf spider can climb on anything. And I was like, yes,
Nice.
let's go.
So there was one funny thing that I just wanted to mention, which was your description of this person having like sort of like leathery elephant skin, but with no wrinkles, like taut, made me think of the Horniman walrus.
What is
Horniman walrus?
The Horniman is a museum in South London that you can go to, and they have a walrus. And obviously,
I've
at some
heard of
point,
this. Yeah.
someone went on an expedition and was like, "We have brought you a walrus museum," and the museum was like, "Amazing, we're gonna stuff the walrus." So someone's there like, "This is a great walrus skin. I better stuff it really good." And they were like, "Wow, it's really, you fit a lot in here," and they just kept stuffing it until the
It's
walrus
this huge,
was no
smooth
longer wrinkly.
walrus.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was
my
in fact
God.
supposed to be wrinkly. It's just round. Yeah, Google Horniman walrus, or you know,
Very funny.
have a little trip to South London.
There is a museum
Should
of
we
bad
go on a
taxidermy,
trip
isn't there? Like that's
Is there?
That's
Can
a
we
thing.
go? Oh my god.
Because I've seen
It's
some.
make me sad. But...
The Natural History Museum in Oxford has some awful taxidermies in there. Because some of them was quite old, and partly they were degraded, but also I think the techniques were just a lot worse.
The eyeballs.
I just made
the eyeballs.
I just made the mistake of googling Museum of Bad Taxidermy. I don't actually think there is a location, but Jesus, some of these are so bad.
Can everyone send us their favourite bad taxidermies today on the Discord, please? That'd be great. I'm going to put a picture of the Horniman walrus in the Discord channel.
Oh, some of these. I just.
Okay, we're all just laughing now.
So
This is great podcast
I'm
content.
not looking anything up. And then the other thing I wanted to raise from today was a question we had in chat during the stream. So we were crammed in the bottom of the spaceship. There were hot engines coming from one side, and there was like the cold metal coming from the other side. Now the original question was like, oh, is it not a vacuum on the other side of the metal, in which case why would it be particularly cold, because how is the energy escaping, which is one question. The fact is we weren't in a vacuum, we were sort of like high up. So my sort of extension question to that is how does sort of heat loss change as you go up? So if you're like in a plane or something, as you go higher, as the atmosphere gets thinner, are you actually like losing less heat?
Well, you're losing less heat because you've got three principal methods of heat loss. You've got conduction, convection, and radiation. So conduction was never really a factor, but you would have had in the lower atmosphere convection as the principal method of of energy transfer. You will have established if you're warmer than the surroundings, you make the air near you less dense, so it rises, it creates a partial vacuum, and then more air that's cooler rushes in to fill the gap, gets warm, fills the cycle. So the higher you go, the less convection you're going to see, and you're going to get the same amount of radiation, but it's going to convey it's going to be more efficient because you're not warming the air immediately next to you. You're warming something that's very far away that's not going to
Does that mean that the higher that you go in a plane, the warmer the outside of the plane?
The less heat loss, at least, through the outside.
Yes, but then the ambient temperature is lower anyway. So the rate of heat loss will be lower, but then equally you're going to be in contact with surroundings that are going to be radiatively cooling you. Like the rate, off the top of my head, I think if you're in like low to middle atmosphere, like in order to be in radiative equilibrium, it takes like the order of a couple of weeks, maybe. So like you're never going to get in radiative equilibrium just through radiation.
Is radiative heat loss essentially what you're doing when you're like looking through like thermal glasses? It's like infrared.
You're seeing
indicator of that, right?
Because everybody in the universe emits radiation in the form of blackbody radiation, or we approximate as blackbody radiation. It just is that.
Is that infrared?
So the wavelength that it is maximal in depends on the temperature. If you're a warm object, then it's going to be in the visible, which is why. So the classic example of this is if you put something in a fire, it will originally appear to be glowing red because that's a longer wavelength and emitting at a lower temperature. As it heats up, it's going to get orange, then yellow, and then a white. So a lot of objects that we interact with daily are giving off blackbody radiation, but the peak wavelength that they're emitting is way into the infrared.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, okay.
But when you say this, what is the thing that's doing the emitting? Is it the atoms that make up the object?
Yeah. I've never thought about it from an atomic perspective. But yes, I mean, well, this is actually, it's a quantum thing. Now, I think back to the history. This is one of the reasons that quantum mechanics sort of coalesced. This idea of actually explaining black body radiation. And there was something called the Ultraviolet Catastrophe, which I can't remember the exact details of. But if you used
No one
classical
can!
physics-
It's such an awful event! It's been struck from the
We
minds
don't
of all.
speak of it, Frodo. Yeah, like the basically, if you used classical physics to try and explain it, then it blew up. Like you
world
ended up
would.
with an infinity, and so they had to develop some new physics to try and explain it.
An infinity, eh? I'm sorry.
That's so many moments in our science chats. An infinity, you say?
Infinity, say. Her origin story. It's not.
Awesome. So
Ooh.
was that? Yeah, that's all I
still
had
don't think.
from
I'm
this
fully
episode.
full disclosure. I still don't understand. I still didn't get where the radiation comes from. Like,
No.
what is the thing?
No,
that's
there was
emitting
apparently there was an
radiation?
ultraviolet catastrophe, and I was like, okay.
Well, I mean,
everything.
temperature is just the average kinetic energy of a bunch of atoms or molecules. So those atoms, you know, the general law of the universe is everything wants to get to the lowest energy state possible. So you're right there, Bates. Sorry, for podcast listeners, Emily Bates, I think, just inhaled. Is that soup? Or was it coffee? Tea?
Mint tea.
Oh.
Just gonna mute my microphone for a bit.
So yeah, so like everything wants to return to the lowest energy state possible, and I think basically, you know, when you have an object that is, say, at room temperature, its individual atoms and molecules have quite a bit of energy, and they will try to sink back down to a lower energy state, and so emit radiation at specific frequencies that will be governed by their structure, but also
But that's about electrons jumping between different energy states within the shell of the atom, correct?
But there's electronic transitions and then there's molecular transitions. So, for example, like in CO2, you have like
shit.
the oxygen molecules like vibrating in a certain way, and then you have like rotational modes and translational modes and vibrational modes.
So all that sort of stretchy, vibraty stuff, that's emitting stuff from the bonds themselves. But that's also those bonds are electrons.
Being in one of
I've
those
hijacked
states,
this, I realise.
being in one of those states, like a vibrational state, is just being at a level of energy. When you transition from one state to another state, you will emit.
But
a
the you
photon.
you're talking
Knew
about
that.
is electrons. It's
No,
those
not.
are
I mean,
all
well,
atoms.
the molecule as a whole. The molecule will be in a state, and then when it transitions from
But
that.
the molecule's made of electrons and...
Yeah, but the electrons
They're
aren't.
core.
It's not an electronic emission. It's a molecular. There's like different bands of emissions. So it's you can have emissions from electrons, yes, but you can also have those emissions from because those emissions are caused by that you're thinking of are caused by electrons changing state. Whereas what I'm talking about is within a molecule, the state that the molecule is in terms of how it is vibrating or rotating and changing from one state to another is what causes the emission to take place.
I really want to go on with this, but I'm not going to. All I would say is that as you've been talking, I have the images of the bad taxidermy up behind you.
Oh, they're so
And
funny.
The lion, I'm imagining the lion saying all these things that you're saying.
If anyone's not on our Discord, well, Dr. Simon Clark fans Discord, there is an RPGeeks discussion, and right now there are just some absolutely brilliant pictures of awful taxidermy, and it's well worth a look.
It's
Go and have a follow.
like, the pictures of medieval art where they said the monk's been like, I've seen an elephant, and then they
I know what
tried
it's
to recreate it.
4 eyes.
Someone has described to me an elephant, and
Yeah.
someone else described it to them. So I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure we've got this.
Yeah,
Oh my word.
absolutely.
Join the Discord, everybody. See the pictures.
Exactly.
Excellent plugging. Right. I've done so much reading up about meteors.
Meteors.
Yeah.
Why is this, before you say it, why is this relevant? Like, why are we talking about it?
So not, but if you have been watching the stream today or on the video, you'll have seen the map of the region that we're in. Again, that can be on our Discord if you're a podcast listener.
I will put it on there right now. I'm not sure if we've actually posted it before.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. That's why I was like, it will maybe. Yeah.
I'm going to put it on the Instagram right now. Right now.
Do that. That'd be great. So everyone who people watching last week were like looking at the map and going, "Oh my gosh, there's this big sort of circular mountain range. It's this sort of natural harbour thing looks very circular. Like, could it have been an impact crater? But there's sort of maybe an island in the middle. Does that imply it's a volcano? Like, oh my gosh. Now, we don't know the answer to this because this is the mystery of Braxigantu that only DM Ali knows. And we do, or we'll make up later. Be fine. But yeah, I just went away and looked up meteors. Also, I have been watching like Don't Look Up on Netflix, which is that like Leonardo DiCaprio movie about it's like a metaphor for climate change. So in a way, the meteor is not really the point, but in another way, giant meteors hitting the Earth is cool. So
it's cool, so we're doing it.
Yeah, we're just going to ignore like the whole message and the main sort of political point it's making, and just being like, but meteors.
This is why we're in this situation.
Yeah,
scientists getting bogged down in the details and goes, oh no, guys, it's really cool.
The world will be ending, and I'll be like, I've done some research. Can I tell you all about it? It's really fun.
You tell us about it.
Yeah.
Go on.
So my main question watching that, like my partner was asking me actually, is about the size of a meteor that you would need to hit the Earth for it to kind of cause major problems, and like what would actually happen, what would actually be sort of the worst part of that. And obviously like the sort of famous example is the meteor that killed the dinosaurs, right?
Well, the hypothesis, that's the other thing though, is like we think it did.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's no real way of knowing. Like, it's all Arpalian, like a murder scene 65 million years ago.
There's some quite cool archaeology now around it, right? I think. Did I make that up? Wasn't there like a recent find of like a fish that was found like nowhere near the coast?
Flattened.
And they think it's because it
really flattened.
Has to have been like chucked out. Oh, I'm pulling this out of my arse.
There's some sort of I feel like a lake bed.
Also, can I make a
the
correction?
distant fish have been fired from the crater.
From last time, because I made the distinction between archaeology and paleontology as when written records started. It was wrong. I looked this up afterwards. The boundary between archaeology and paleontology is where anatomically modern humans first appear.
Oh,
so it's
anything before that, all the ancient hominin stuff is actually paleontology.
Yeah. It's
Interesting.
So about, I think, 10,000 years ago, modern humans? I can't remember
exactly.
exactly.
Right.
I wonder how much
like
bullshit we've spewed on this show without realising
so
it.
much.
Got to get these corrections in there.
Yeah, you can find that out finale. But yeah, that is apparently the distinction. Although,
maybe we should have a little correction section every week.
Yeah,
the
we
errata.
should.
Jesus.
I mean,
Are we talking Homo sapiens or Homo sapiens sapiens?
Homo sapiens sapiens.
Yeah. Second one.
Okay, I'm on it.
Wise
Probably
man.
modern humans.
But the thing to remember is, guys, if you're choosing between paleontology and archaeology, if you choose archaeology, your life will literally be in ruins.
Get out. Leave. How do we kick Simon off his own stream?
I'll tell you how, by showing how fantastically wrong you just were.
Ah.
According to Britannica, Encyclopedia Britannica via the medium of Google, between 90,000 and 160,000 years ago. Homo sapiens sapiens.
Oh.
Well, no one knows.
It was at the order of tens of thousands of years. I got the order of magnitude right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyway,
dinosaur killing
section
asteroid. Dinosaur killing asteroid, right? I think we were talking about sizes last night. Yeah, Chicxulub crater, Mexico, Yucatan Peninsula. I think we had a mention. Does anyone have an idea of the sizes that we're talking about, of like that, as to take that as an example?
Is it like about the order of a couple of kilometers across?
More than that.
It's bigger. It's way
big.
bigger than that. It's visible from space.
not
Was
way
it
bigger.
60 something?
It was probably around 10 kilometers
Wow.
wide.
Oh, the
maybe a bit
meteor
more.
itself, not the impact
Meteor,
crater.
not the impact crater. Oh, the impact
Right,
crater
got
is
it.
huge. So the meteor is, and I looked up, I was like, how big is 10 kilometers? I have no idea. And I've looked up, it's about the distance from the Greenwich Observatory to Buckingham Palace.
Oh, that's
About as
big.
big as Manhattan, is it?
I don't live in New York, I live in London, so I've looked up the most British landmarks possible to
I
make my
worked-
point with.
I watched on a
excellent work.
documentary about asteroids, and I know there was a comparison between a certain asteroid, I don't remember which one it was, this is so useless, and Central Park, but that's all I remember.
Oh, was it the 67P, the rubber duck one?
Oh, Dylan.
Maybe.
Oh, the rubber duck! I love
Maybe.
that guy.
We love that one. So the impact crater, if let's say the Chicxulub meteor hit London in about that spot, the impact crater would reach out to Milton Keynes and Brighton.
Not Brighton.
That's nothing of value
Oh.
lost.
Oh, Brighton.
You said Milton Keynes, and I was like, it's fine. And then Brighton, I was like, no.
So that's like 150 kilometers. And
There was, so it was tangentially related to that. There's a site that's now it's not RAL. There's a significant science site, the Apple. It's somewhere that's just like north of London, and they specifically put it there because it was originally used for nuclear research for the UK, and they worked out the radius of a nuclear strike on London and where would be just outside of that, and that's where they put the lab.
Awful.
If I can remember where that was, I visited there. It was where Airbus was, like near
must
Stevenage, I think.
Must be as close to London as humanly possible without being ruined if there was a nuclear strike.
When you talk about the impact crater, are you talking about basically where like the mountain bits sort of start rising?
Yeah, I'm talking about like the visible cratery bit. So it's not even so. It's not visible, right? This like massive crater. If you look with the naked eye from a plane, even from space, like you can't actually see it. Like the topology is like actually quite subtle and actually quite buried. They found it because they were doing like oil drilling measurements, and they were doing like measurements of the magnetic field and gravity and stuff, and they were like they basically found anomalies from the kind of rocks that they should have found in a perfect circle, and in both the ocean and the land. And there's also all these sinkholes that you get around that area, and then if you put all these sinkholes in a map, it's just like a really perfect circle, and it's like suddenly really obvious. Yes.
That's incredible, because it's iridium. Is it iridium, which is the element
that's rich in asteroids and you barely find any on Earth, and then there's the KT layer where there's like a really rich seam of it.
Loads of
so it might be that they. If you Google Chicxulub crater visual, they go on the visual bit of it, you can see these like, I don't know what, there must be sort of sonic mapping or something of the surrounding ground, and it's crazy. Like the crater is just so obviously there, but it's basically smashed straight onto the coastline, so it's sort of half sunk, half covered by jungle.
If you've got an exaggerated sort of topology, you can see it. But there's also, if you Google it, there is also a lot of pictures that are like artist reconstructions and stuff, and then it's not in fact what it looks like. So be careful of that. And talking of the rocks they found, the other thing that they were doing with the geology was there's a bunch of rock. There's a certain type of rock. What's it called? Cannot remember, but that should have been there, basically. Oh, gypsum, right? They were like, oh yeah, gypsum in this area. And they're like, oh, why is there no gypsum here? And in this, I think it's maybe just in the impact crater, there's no gypsum because it would have all evaporated upon impact. So it's gone.
Wow.
Somewhere.
That's insane.
Amazing.
I was just curious. I was just Googling. Do you know, you may have already got this figure ready to go, Shamini, how the mass of rock that falls on Earth every year?
Ooh, no.
Oh, that is a good figure. No.
I don't even know what I would guess.
Most of it comes from dust-sized particles. There's like, I think they said it's like one car-sized asteroid probably hits the Earth on average every year. Like, it's not lots of these big ones.
But like loads of dust, right?
Wait,
like, that could really add up.
Asteroid hits the Earth every year. That's massive.
Well, no, but it burns up. Like,
it hits the Earth as in,
it goes through the atmosphere. Yeah.
Estimates for the mass of material that falls on the Earth every year range from 37,000 to 78,000 tons.
That's quite a lot. I mean, it doesn't all happen at once, so I guess it's probably.
But if you think,
small
it sounds
particles
like a lot.
over the whole surface of the Earth.
Yeah,
whole
exactly.
surface of the Earth over a whole year. It's actually
which is mostly water as well.
Thank God.
Like, I found the fossil site that I was talking about, where there was like the recent discoveries that they think like is going to help, like add more evidence to the KPG or Chicxulub crater event being what wiped out the dinosaurs. It's a place called Tanis, and it's in North Dakota in the United States.
That's amazing.
So basically they just found loads of like fossils and weird remains of like different dinosaurs, different like fish, but they have like markers in them that they think mean that they started in Mexico and somehow ended up so far away because they were literally at the like site and got just absolutely like flung.
Wow.
And But it does say the exceptional nature of the findings and conclusions have led some scientists to await further scrutiny by the scientific community before agreeing that the discoveries at Tanis have been correctly understood. The site continues to be explored. But it's really interesting.
Because
doesn't that mean that you should be able to draw a ring around
I think so.
level of North Dakota and just find all these fish?
Yeah, I don't know
where you'd have to be to get flung, because anything that was really close, was it? Yeah,
it's probably not that close actually.
Like catching fire,
okay, let me read.
Water would have been boiling.
There is a paper which reconstructed the timeline for like a minute after the asteroid hit.
That's fun.
I reported on it years ago, and
Kurskasaf did a video on it. I think they have a video on this.
So this does bring me to my question about what is the main, what do you think are the main things that are gonna cause an extinction level event when a big meteor hits? And for the sort of dinosaurs as well. So we talked about like obviously right there you've got extreme heat, you've got wildfires,
it's got to be nuclear winter. It's got to be putting so much dust in the atmosphere that it chokes all the plant life.
Yeah. And that's the big thing. So obviously not a nuclear winter, but what's it called? Impact winter. But same diff. So after you've got all your volcanoes and earthquakes and shockwaves out of the way, you've just got the entire sky going dark.
Yay!
And all the plants dying for about a year afterwards. There would still be dust in the sky. There would still be a lack of sunlight. And they reckon like this a similar kind of sized meteor, so like 5-10 kilometers or bigger than 5 would maybe be a 25% extinction rate for people.
Which is, I did a video about this quite recently with a German collaboration, and it was like which species survive and why do they survive?
Oh, nice!
Because it's like there's like certain not strategies, but like reasons that species survive. Like there's like Lilliput species that survive by getting smaller, and the ones that emerge in the aftermath are called disaster taxa that will like see the new environment and like specialize into it, and then.
But very briefly, presumably in that fossil record, those are only going to appear briefly because the environment is changing.
Yeah, like you specialise to the environment, and then obviously the environment changes more gradually.
Can I tell you what would have happened if you'd been standing at ground zero where Chicxulub when the crater hit?
Can I guess?
Yes.
You die.
Would you die? Yeah.
That's incorrect, Emily.
You would die.
You would be there, standing and watching all the other things that were happening. Is what you would do.
Presumably, you'd be roasted, right? Like the temperature
would be... I was going to say.
Yeah.
I think
the pressure, surely.
You got hit, but which would get you first? The pressure of compressed air, or?
I feel like I've used a poetic turn of phrase which has backfired heavily. So I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to come back and say, allow me to describe the physical events that happened at the moment.
Oh, so we're not allowed to guess anymore. Okay, yeah.
You're not standing at ground zero anymore. Okay.
So what happens is it makes this massive impact crater, right? And it liquefies all the earth around it because everything just gone. Then it sends a tsunami, right? From the point of impact, just traveling across the world.
Mega tsunami.
After a couple of minutes, or like a few minutes, all the stuff starts raining down from the sky. Like all the bits that you've chucked up there take like a few minutes to come back down, which is just crazy, right?
Because it goes so high.
And then after 30 minutes, the seawater starts coming back in over the top of the sides of the crater.
Oh,
I guess because if it's everything, because everything gets pushed out and then it has to go back.
So anything that had somehow survived, and it's like 10 minutes, I think we're okay. I feel like we're all right now. Stick to
But you're walking towards the edge of the crater, like, well, it's a feral, whoa, maybe not. And at that point, like, you're like, okay, well, it's sort of starting to trickle in. We better get out of here. And at that point, the tsunamis make it all the way around the earth and come back and just go straight over the top and like completely flood the whole bowl.
A little spoiler for the video that's going to be coming out on my channel later this week. is I've been looking at all the stuff that happened in the aftermath of the Tongan eruption.
I was going to say, are we touching a bit
Awesome.
too close to Tonga on this right now?
But there's
Yeah.
a fascinating plot that somebody's worked out of based on where the pressure wave, because the overpressure wave that came from the volcano was so powerful that we detected it here in the UK. And then the amazing thing is it washed over the whole hemisphere and it hit its antipode. So it hit the exact opposite side of the planet and then bounced back. And there are some weather stations that picked up the return of that pressure wave.
God, that's huge.
Wow.
It's an astonishing amount of power that was put out. Obviously, watch the video. There's something that I think is unprecedented in the instrumental record, which I hope people are finding.
Ooh, what's that? Can you tell us?
Have to watch the
No, I always watch your videos. Tell me now.
We had someone commenting in the chat last week, Samwise actually, about a crater on Mercury. We've got an impact crater on one side of the planet, and then on the exact opposite side of the planet, you've got a really weird area of terrain where it's all kind of bumpy and broken up, which they reckon is
Where
all of the seismic waves just converging there.
That's super cool.
There isn't anything like that with Chicxulub.
Oh my god, that's a
I
great
know.
question.
Yeah, we should go look.
Well, the difference though is that between Earth and Mercury is that Earth is tectonically active. So even if there
true.
was, it may have been subducted or moved from the exact opposite part, so you wouldn't know exactly where to look.
Correct. Wow.
That
God,
was a great.
that was smart.
Look
Well
at
done.
that.
Well, no, Earth's just very unusual in that it's tectonically active. Like,
Woo, Earth.
I'd actually quite like to do a video on that because there are certain interesting bits of sort of geology, like I think it's Venus, that basically just resurfaces the whole. One theory is that it just resurfaces the whole planet every couple of 100 million years. So
It's
rather
like
than
a
having
conveyor
plates that move, it's just like everything goes molten and then it re-solidifies.
What?
It just gets hotter and hotter and hotter, and then everything liquefies, and then it gets.
Citation
Hello,
needed
Dan.
on that, but that is what I seem to remember that is a theory.
Go look that up because that's fascinating.
Yeah.
I
The
feel like
other
we should
thing,
be saying citation needed a lot more.
Yeah.
the other thing which
Citation needed.
I was looking at was obviously like the Cretaceous Paleogene impact, like the Chicxulub impact, was like what we think of as the huge extinction. 3/4 of all species we think went extinct. Does anyone know what the most destructive mass extinction is?
Is it humans?
No.
No,
We are the
it's
next
the
one.
No, it's the
oxygen
Permian, isn't it?
catastrophe. No.
I think it is the Permian Triassic. Like the oxygen. Well, considering that one of the names for
I
it
guess
is
so.
the oxygen holocaust, that it's like it
But
was
it's not
very
I
very
don't
bad.
like
It wasn't
that
enough
name.
to-
It's
Oh,
what no,
all
it's
of
in
that.
the literature. That is one of the things it's called to try and convey how awful it was.
Okay, not that one.
But the
It's such an
Permian
incredible
Triassic
idea,
event
isn't it?
was 83% of genera, 70% of terrestrial vertebrates, 81%
Was that another
of marine
impact
species.
one?
Yeah, so what happened?
What was
with
there?
No, they're all a bit different, aren't they?
This one was a huge amount of climate change, I think because of geological activity. It was like a large amount of volcanic activity that then set off like
Oh
a
my
feedback loop,
God.
possibly in Siberia.
Oh wow.
But then that, like, the exact, cause is a bit unknown, I think.
Is this like the kind of thing that, like, if Yellowstone went up, it could be? Was it like super volcano?
Oh, yeah.
I think it would be. I don't think it would be quite that bad if Yellowstone went off. But like, let's say you had Yellowstone, and then in a couple of million years after, you had another Yellowstone. I think it's that kind of
Right.
level.
It just continuously messing up the
yeah.
everything.
But it's-
Citation needed.
yeah, another citation needed.
Let's change the name of our podcast to Citation Needed.
Citation, that would be.
That is actually a
The
great.
problem- I'm sure there is.
That's
a
a good
podcast called
name.
It's a
That's a good name.
Richard,
There
doesn't
is a
Tom
limit.
Scott have a podcast called that?
Like, must be.
Should we make a new? Oh, there is a podcast. Wait,
We
is
should
it?
go listen to it. It's probably great.
Wait, I don't know if there is. Quickly, grab it.
I want to throw in one more thing on meteors before I wrap up. My last thing on
There
meteors is don't worry, everyone.
Oh, good.
It's all fine because we've got, NASA has got the Planetary Defense Coordination
Yes,
Office.
they do. Oh my god,
They're looking
mad.
out. They're keeping an eye out. They're making plans. I was a bit skeptical of these plans. They're like, we're here to look out for potential impacts and mitigate. And I went on their FAQ page, and there's an FAQ that says, would it be possible to shoot down an asteroid that is about to impact Earth? Which seems a pretty fair question. And their answer is, an asteroid on a trajectory to impact Earth could not be shot down in the last few minutes or even hours before impact. No known weapon system could stop the mass because of the velocity at which it travels, an average of 12 miles per second. Yes, that's very much assuming that you only spotted it in the last hour.
And you go, oh shit, what's that thing in the sky?
Yeah.
And no one has noticed it before.
And then they're like, and so
You're just firing guns at it or something.
yeah, it's just like that's
Can
a
I
very
tell-
pessimistic view. Yeah,
I don't want to tread on your toes, but there's the really like balmy idea they've got to spray paint asteroids.
Oh yeah.
Redirect them because
because of the sun.
because the albedo effect.
Yeah.
So basically, it's how the solar radiation hits them, and if you can spray paint one side like darker,
yeah,
it can change the course.
It'll be
of,
lighter.
light.
If you spray paint one side lighter, then
Yeah.
it's the equivalent of having a photon basically bounce
yes,
off of it.
that's right.
So you're
Yeah.
transmitting
So is it-
twice as much momentum to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, is
You
it
spin it.
because because of the photons hitting it and pushing it, or is it because one side heats up? No, it's like literally
it'd be the
like
radiation
solar
pressure.
sail.
by radiation. It's a solar, okay, like a solar sail. That's awesome. I
But
love
so
it.
you have to get to it really quickly,
That's super
like
cool.
really early on. But I just think that one's insane.
Quick, get
And
Bruce
then there's
Willis
the whole
on
like
film.
nuclear one, like exploding
Yes.
nuclear bomb on
But
it, to
they've
like
got-
push it
Send
off course.
Bruce Willis out with a lot of cans of paint.
But of course, there's a spaceship out there right now which is making the first little steps in how we could knock a comet or an asteroid off orbit.
They're bumping it.
They're bumping it, so it's this DART, NASA's
Bonk the asteroid.
DART, double asteroid redirection test, which they've just got a little craft and a little asteroid, and they're just gonna.
Bonk.
Have they done it now? Have they
No,
done
it's
the bonk?
apparently so it launched. So we reported on when it launched, but September, October, I think it's gonna hit.
How exciting!
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So that'll be really exciting. And the problem with all the plans for bonking
Bonking the
Yeah,
asteroids.
but yes, bonking your asteroids is that it's super asteroid dependent. So it depends what it's made of, how big it is, how fast it's going.
Yeah, because isn't there a
Very
thing
How
that
much
like
bonking you need to move
yeah
Yeah,
bonk
really,
your asteroid.
really case specific. It could be like already broken up. It could be like loads of little particles that have already disintegrated heading towards us. In which case, like, how do you?
But that's good, isn't it?
Way.
Because the more surface area, the more likely they are to burn up in the atmosphere.
Well, up to a point. Like at the
But you
same,
also
it'd be
can't-
like getting hit by grape shot. Like you know,
Yeah.
it depends how many
From a
fragments you
comedy
get.
cartoon
Okay, yeah,
blunderbuss.
Fair.
And the other like sad fact is that a big enough thing doesn't even have to actually impact the Earth to cause an impact winter, because if it hits the atmosphere and breaks up and then our atmosphere is full of debris, it's going to be the same thing. You're just going to have a like sky full of darkness and debris. But that probably won't happen. So
Yeah, the
it'll
chances
probably
are
be fine.
vanishingly small.
Super low. Because there was that asteroid that everyone was worried was going to hit us, and then they were like, "No, it's nowhere near."
Well, they actually, yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
NASA's never worried. So
Yeah.
if you're ever worried, NASA has a little website where they basically say all the things that it's the Asteroid Watch dashboard. And there it's just like, here are all the things we're looking out for. Should I put it on the Discord? Here's the things we've got our eye on. Here's how big they all are.
Just
Here's
to
how
help with
far
everyone's
they're going
anxiety.
away from Earth.
Oh, airplane size.
Yeah, but like far away.
But
they're
really
plane
far
size. But
away.
it's on their radar. They're keeping an eye out. It's just to reassure you all.
Well, there's a building size one, but it's only going to be 4.45 million miles away.
These are the 2022 ones.
Yeah.
And like that building size one has been known about since 1994.
And also, it's
It's like-
soon. Like it's in 5 days' time. It's going to be
Oh,
really
great.
close.
Is it amazing?
4.5
Quick, get
million
Bruce
miles.
I
Willis
want to
on
be able to
phone.
see it though.
Bruce, we need you.
Should we teach astronauts how to drill? No, we'll teach drillers how to be astronauts. Makes much more sense. I seem to remember actually that did come up in the filming of the film. Ben Affleck raised this point with what's his name, the director Michael Bay, and he was just like, "Shut the fuck up!
Stop it.
I'm making a movie here." I just put the link for the Venus resurfacing thing.
Oh, yeah,
by the
okay.
way. So I was right.
Awesome.
There's basically two schools of thought that it's either steady state with these violent kind of overturnings, or there's these kind of more gradual things like we see on Earth. And I think it's basically the majority of the scientific community currently favours the catastrophic overturn hypothesis.
Wow.
Wait,
So how
this-
actually fast is it? Like, So
I
it's
think that's
currently
one of the
solid,
questions. It's like it's fast on geological timescales, so like millions of years.
Yeah.
but it would at some point look entirely molten.
Well, I don't know if it would look entirely molten, but like large sections of it probably would be.
Oh, hello.
Awesome.
There's a great sentence here.
hello.
We don't
Oh, that's
understand how
incredible.
important Venusian geologic features like the coronae, arachnoids, and novae formed.
Oh, the arachnoids. Simon, what are you doing right now, Simon?
I'm in hands where we can see him.
We're on a stream.
Getting ghosted by infinity.
So
We didn't even talk about that. We didn't talk
No,
about
we
that.
don't need to
little
talk
moment.
about that.
No, okay, sorry. No one saw in the darkness of the cockpit.
nothing happened. And it's
I was
all
expecting
fine.
Tenebris to start like ghosting infinity. Like, I'm helping.
It's not behind. Would you like more hugs? Are we having hugs?
It would be
Yay!
so cute. I feel like that's very this party. Just like
Yeah.
slowly, just all helping each other.
Uriel on the end with like the anime, just like teardrop.
Yeah.
Oh no! I
Anna,
think
do it.
we should call it there for the excitement of the science and the D&D for this
I
week.
think so.
It's getting late. We should probably wrap up. This has been fantastic. So before we go, just gonna plug the usual things that we plug, which is follow us on all our social media accounts. We're at RPGeeks DnD all over the place. We're on TikTok. Follow us on TikTok. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. Where else are we?
YouTube.
YouTube. We
Podcasts.
have
We've
our
got a
podcasts all up. Oh, the website has the links to all of the other things. The
That's the one to
website,
remember. You're gonna remember that.
rpgeeks.co.uk.
Yeah, that's an RP Geeks with a G, not an RPGeeks, which would be confusing, and people might think it was spelled with a J, so we shouldn't call ourselves that.
We're not the RPGeeks. The fans are the Geeks.
No one in chat has ever expressed a desire to be a
No, that's not true. I think one person did once.
once wanted to be a Geek.
Hiya, Geeks, we're the geeks.
We thank you for your support in these troubled times.
Keep geeking.
Oh no!
Why does
Yes,
that
I
sound
love it.
dirty?
Keep cheeking.
Thank you.
It's geeks. It's rpgeeks.co.uk. To be clear.
It's true. Very clear. Thank you, all of you, for tuning in today. Thanks, everyone who joined the Twitch live. Follow us. Say hi to us. We love you. We love science. Chat science with us, and we will see you next time. On the other-
Bye.